Chapter 205. So where is Yi Xiaobei now? As the last direct descendant of the Yi family in Zhu Mountain, Yi Xiaobei is 22 years old. His personal ability is not high, but his talent is not bad. It is a pity that the Wen family has not had an heir with the Taoist root for 2 generations. It is even worse than the Xianyuan family. The Wen family has already fallen into the mortal world. Finally, Yi Xiaobei is born with the expectation of 2 generations. The Yi family is no longer as glorious as before. Wen Guanjing, who has the same status as them, reached the middle stage of training qi when he was 22 years old. He led the cultivators of the special department all over the world. Yi Xiaobei is 22 years old, but he is still an otaku deep in the mountains. The Yi family is no longer a cultivator, but they are not poor. Yi Xiaobei goes to the mountains with an internet cable. He never contacts others except for soaking in jars. Chui knows him because of their online friendship. Such an otaku is willing to come out of the mountains because of Yi Xiaobei's far-sighted grandma. Grandma Yi said that as long as he can go to the Tower of Babel, she will officially pass on the Baihong sword, which has been passed down in the Yi family for many generations. Many otaku love cute girls, and Yi Xiaobei is no exception. After Li Xier's photo was exposed in the tribe for cultivators, the former Sister Li, now Sister Li, has become the dream lover of many young cultivators, including Yi Xiaobei. However, otaku also knows that even if he wants to get a cute girl, he must have an advantage. Money in the mortal world? He had never heard of anyone who was short of money. Power? Hey, cultivators are obsessed with power. How can they concentrate on cultivation? Not everyone is like Minister Chen Yun. Family background? 2 generations ago, the Yi family could still be said to be a cultivation family with a rich heritage. Now they were like a tiger with its teeth pulled out. The Yi family had long lost the qualifications to be compared with the Wen family. Naturally, this category was also passed. As for appearance, if Yi Xiaobei dresses up well, he can be regarded as a sunshine boy. He can definitely make girls of 15 or 16 years old fall in love with him. However, this is not the mortal world, but the world of cultivation. There are many people like him. Therefore, as soon as Yi Xiaobei hears that it is Baihong's sword, he unplugs the network cable and moves out of the door without thinking. The Zhu Mountain School has been divided for a long time. The 2 biggest families are the Yi family and the Wen family. The Wen family inherits the Cyan Rainbow Sword, and the Yi family inherits the Baihong sword. It is a magic weapon above grade 5. Some people say it is grade 2. No one knows whether it is true or not, but Yi Xiaobei wants it very much. Powerful martial strength was the source of confidence for a man. Otaku Yi Xiaobei righteously follows the team to the Tower of Babel. However, he is timid at the last moment. He is afraid that he will encounter a difficult checkpoint if he is in a team with a higher cultivation, so he chooses to be alone. With the help of the Tower of Babel, Yi Xiaobei gets what he wants and gets to the safest place. When he was thirsty, he could make water out of thin air. When he was hungry, he could eat. Nothing could be more carefree than this. Of course, if there were no phantom in fancy clothes and flying phoenix eyes, Yi Xiaobei's trial in the Tower of Babel would be really comfortable. Ancestor of the monsters of wood? Gossiped thousands of years ago? At first, Yi Xiaobei thinks he is lucky to meet the will of the senior cultivator. These are all inheritances. Senior cultivator, do you have a super cultivation method that can help people reach the level of laying foundation in 1 year and become immortals in 100 years? No. The phantom faintly feels that his eyebrows are twitching. Senior cultivator, there should be an elixir that can help people to cultivate for 100 years, right? If the foundation is not stable, the further one cultivates, the more difficult it will be to go against the current. The phantom comforts him patiently. Well, stop talking. I know you don't have it. Senior cultivator, you should remember the cave before you become immortals, right? Yi Xiaobei is full of expectations. Isn't it all like this in the serial novels on the BBS? Meet the will of a master, and get the mysterious inheritance. Soon, Yi Xiaobei knows that the group of nerdy cultivator writers on the BBS is bullshit. The gossip the Phantom wants to talk about has nothing to do with cultivation methods, let alone inheritance. It talks about how a master's daughter fell in love with him thousands of years ago. how a black bear spirit transformed into an extremely beautiful woman, or how a scorpion spirit took a bath and all monsters peeped at it, and were discovered by the scorpion spirit's husband. Such gossip is new to Yi Xiaobei. However, after being told by the phantom in the tone of a ladyboy for a few days, and every gossip is evidence of the phantom's narcissism, Yi Xiaobei almost goes crazy. He doesn't care about the senior cultivator and inheritance anymore. He pats the walls around him and wants to go out. The phantom shakes its head. This time I really don't lie to you. I will tell you about the adventure in Mount Penglai. Yi Xiaobei bangs his head against the wall. He doesn't want to listen. The phantom is a little helpless. The moral degeneration of the world is getting worse. Young people nowadays are really impatient. All right, I'll give you my most precious item. Yi Xiaobei's eyes light up. The phantom takes out a glowing green object and gives it to him. A book made of leaves? Does the phantom know that his surname is Yi and deliberately tease him? Yi Xiaobei screams and the phantom is angry. You don't know what's good for you. Yi Xiaobei is kicked to the wall. This time he doesn't hit the wall. He goes through it. The phantom hands over the leaf tree, smiles reluctantly, and then disappears into a puff of smoke. It was originally a strand of remnant wool attached to the ancient book, and after 1,000 years, it had developed its own consciousness. However, the ancient book is precious and can't be buried in the extra-dimensional space of the Tower of Babel forever. If it hands over the ancient book, it will only turn into smoke. Alas, this little human cultivator is really impatient. It is rare that the ancestor is in a good mood and wants to talk about the trip to Mount Penglai, but he doesn't want to listen. Yi Xiaobei falls to the ground with a bang, and the leaf book in his hand flies out. He is dizzy because of the fall. When he looks up and sees so many people, he is even more surprised. Most otakus are introverted and are not used to people's attention. Yi Xiaobei climbs up timidly. He is not used to the legendary Master Lin staring at him with such bright eyes. It's rare to be lectured by the phantom of the ladyboy. Has he become more handsome? Yi Xiaobei is secretly happy. Then he finds that Master Lin is staring at the leaf book under his feet. Lin Luoran almost weeps with joy at the moment. Even the female monster who is alienated from the crowd is surprised and happy. The ancient book of the monsters of wood. The modifier of this sentence is that it is the ancient book of the monsters of wood that she lost. A green vine flies out of her hand and Yang Lisha catches it. Everyone looked at Yi Xiaobei with jealousy in their eyes. How could a pie fall from the sky hit this guy? He felt even more uneasy. The only acquaintance, Chu Iran, pats him on the shoulder. Xiaobei, you are so lucky. Lucky for what? Before Yi Xiaobei wakes up from the fall, the platform shakes violently again. Of course, the Tower of Babel won't collapse. Everyone who has returned from the checkpoint is thrown out mercilessly by the Tower of Babel. Lin Luoran holds the cyan little fox and Goldie in her arms. She is afraid to leave the two little guys in the Tower of Babel and get lost in the chaotic time and space. Mr. Lin has already jumped off the skeleton ship. Yuan Yi thinks for a while and grabs the mast of the ship. If no one is left in it, this ship is a good thing. It should be able to be thrown out with him. Even Grandpa Gua and Grandpa Mu don't let go of the two horses. They all say that they have gone to another world. Only the two horses are the witnesses. The earth shakes and everyone is thrown into the sand. There are two unattended date trees by the river. This is the place where everyone entered the Tower of Babel. The magnificent tower has disappeared and the crystal ball has sunk into the ground again. Not only are they dizzy from the fall, but there are also a group of locals in ragged clothes with powerful weapons pointing at them. The younger generation can't help but look at Lin Luoran. Master Lin, what should we do now? The lips of a small leader of a militant group in Iraq are trembling under his beard. They had received a tip-off that a group of tourists had gone missing. Since they had gone missing in the desert, didn't it mean that whoever found them would be able to get it? They have been searching nearby for many days, and almost went into the river to fish out the body. When they are about to give up, this group of Wuxia people comes down from the sky. We just want to grab some food and clothes. Well, at most, we can add some gold jewelry. You don't have to scare us like this, do you? The small leader's outlook on life and the world are all shocked. He collapses when he meets Lin Luoran's indifferent gaze. He throws the machine gun in his hand into the sand, takes out the gold jewelry hidden in his belt, and gives it to Lin Luoran with both hands. His men all follow him. Master Lin is so powerful that many people are dazzled by her. After hearing Chu Yi's explanation, Yi Xiaobei, who is a nerd, starts to understand the meaning of finding the Book of Leaves. Pie a big pie. After Master Mu and Master Gua talk for a while, Master Mu hands the Heart of Druid on a silver chain to Lin Luoran. Master, it may contain information about the Tower of Babel, which is very precious. Master Mu waves his hand. I can trust you. You are a good boy. You are cold on the outside but warm on the inside. We all know how you take care of us. First of all, you have prolonged Master Gua's life for many years. If he doesn't repay you, it will hurt his Taoist heart. Second of all, I have gained something, so I'm afraid that I have to do closed-door training to make a breakthrough. I don't have time to study the Heart of Druid. Chapter 206. In autumn, enjoying chrysanthemums and eating crabs is the best time to enjoy life. Crabs in our city are also on the market. Mrs. Lin spends half a day in the seafood market and buys a crab with the name of Yangqing Lake Hairy Crab. Mrs. Lin checks carefully to make sure that there are no needle holes, and it doesn't look like a water-filled crab. Finally, she pays for it. As for whether it is from Yangqing Lake or not, even Lin Luoran, who is in the level of laying foundation, can't tell. Mrs. Lin has a lot of free time. When Lin Luoran was in the blood pool in the dungeon, Mrs. Lin and Mr. Lin went to get a driving license. After Lin Luoran came back from the Kalahari Desert, she bought an ordinary domestic car and gave the BMW she bought before to her parents. The BMW has a lot of space in the back seat and is convenient for shopping. Mrs. Lin bought a basket full of crabs, shrimps, and beef. In fact, the Lin family has gradually become vegetarian. After all, compared with ordinary food, vegetables and fruits in the space are much better in taste and nutrition. Mrs. Lin prepares a feast today because Luodong's classmates are coming to visit. Luodong was only 7 or 8 years old when he first came to the Lin family. 4 years have passed and the little boy with autism now has classmates and friends. This is a big deal for everyone in the Lin family. Of course, Wei Shui is the only one who agrees to visit the Lin family. In fact, Luodong also invited Huang Weijian, but Huang Weijian silently refused. Luodong was rejected by Huang. Knowing that Mrs. Lin is busy at home, Lin Luoran thinks of another person. Rongdong Lin, who taught Luodong how to deal with people for the first time, will appear in the Lin family. Luodong will be very happy. Lin Luoran glances at her mother who is frying meatballs and picks up the car key. Mom, I need to go out. Mr. Lin comes in with a plate of washed crabs and Lin Luoran almost bumps into him. Mrs. Lin throws the meatballs into the pot and says, Look at your daughter. She is so old and still so noisy. Everyone says that Luoran is only in her early 20s. Mr. Lin, who is usually honest, dares to argue with Mrs. Lin when it comes to his daughter. Mrs. Lin throws a vegetable leaf to Mr. Lin. When the leaf is about to cover Mr. Lin's face, it suddenly stops. Mr. Lin moves his fingers slightly and stops the leaf. Lin Luoran can release Reiki to control the falling leaves. With the help of elixirs and Reiki Jade, Mr. Lin can finally release Reiki. This is a sign that he has officially reached the early stage of training Qi. Mr. Lin's next step is to learn spells of the 5 elements. Seeing Mr. Lin's progress in cultivation, Mrs. Lin inevitably feels gloomy. She already knew that she couldn't cultivate for the time being. Although her daughter said that there was a solution, how could she not be worried when it wasn't implemented? She didn't want to live forever, nor did she want to have the ability to topple mountains and overturn seas. She only wanted to cultivate, so that she could stay by her husband and daughter's side for a long time. Having been with his wife for decades, Mr. Lin knows his wife better than anyone else. Looking at her expression, he knows that she thinks too much. However, the more he talks about it, the more the listener cares about it. Putting the crabs on the table, Mr. Lin makes up his mind that if his wife can't cultivate, he will. All right, if you don't scoop it up, the meatballs will be burnt. Go, go, go. Let's go and pick the vegetables. Mrs. Lin gets rid of her messy thoughts and starts to fry the meatballs. Goldie is pacing in the yard. The smell of meat from the kitchen makes it hungry. Its master told it to hide today, and it might as well go to the mountains to catch some game. The sun is setting. Luodong is about to leave school. Compared with the warm and relaxed atmosphere of Lin's family, Rong has been having a hard time these days. The uneasiness in his heart was confirmed. On the next day, a few burly men, who looked like they were idle members of society, blocked his dormitory. They don't beat him at first. Instead, they hand Rong a bill of 140,000 yuan, which is for repairing his car. Except for Yen Feng, all the other students in the dorm are from ordinary families. They have never seen such a scene. Yen Feng says that he won't pay the bill, but he is thrown out of the dorm by a man with a scorpion tattoo on his arm. At that time, Yen Feng only asks Rong to think about it. The situation is not serious. Everyone in the dorm agrees that they won't pay the bill. Besides, if Rong can afford 140,000 yuan, he won't have to work so many jobs at the same time. Yen Feng says that if these people come again, he will call the police. Rong was not in the wrong at that time, and Yen Feng claims that he can be a witness. Yen Feng doesn't think it is a serious matter, so he doesn't report it to the school. However, the next day, these people come again. Compared with yesterday, they come prepared this time. On the note they hand to Rong, there is the address of Rong's hometown and the information of his family members. Rong wonders how these people find out. Obviously, they are used to doing this kind of thing. After saying a few words, they leave and say that they will come to collect the money tomorrow. Yen Feng immediately calls the police. However, there is no camera at the scene of the accident. For one thing, they don't know who is responsible for the accident. For another thing, these people didn't do anything. They can't just say that Rong was threatened by a piece of paper. On the way back from the police station, Rong is a little upset. Yen Feng was very loyal. He patted him on the shoulder and went to take out his private stash of 30,000 yuan. Rong knows that Yen Feng's family is not very rich. Obviously, the 30,000 yuan is Yen Feng's private money. None of Rong's roommates are rich. If they really need money to solve the problem, they will help. Including Rong's tutoring salary, the total amount is less than 45,000 yuan, which is only a small part of the total 140,000 yuan. In the evening, Yen Feng's roommates look at each other with tears in their eyes. Yen Feng says that he wants to ask his family for the money, but Rong stops him. I can't pay the money back. These people just want to blackmail me. I don't care if I have to pay the debt, but I can't drag you guys down with me. I can't take the money. Rong returns Yen Feng's and other people's money to Rong and goes to sleep. His roommates are worried about him, but Rong is determined. He wants money more than his life. Yen Feng sighs. These people must be hired by the rich second generation. If someone with a powerful background can help them, they won't dare to be so arrogant. Another roommate frowns. We can just fight with them. Go to sleep. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Yen Feng muttered. We can't beat one person even if we fight together. He was not trying to belittle them. Everyone in the dormitory was serious in their studies. But when it comes to fighting and killing, they were all skinny and weak. They were useless. Only Rong, who is pretending to be asleep, hears Yen Feng say that someone with a powerful background. He thinks that the only people he knows who have powerful backgrounds are the brother and sister he met on the train. They seem to be from powerful backgrounds, and they are also locals of the city. Rong thinks of the phone number that he accidentally remembers, and feels that he is being too naive. He was just being polite. He was overestimating himself. Treating the siblings to instant noodles was a small matter. How could it be equal to 140,000 yuan? He is just a little poor, but he is not shameless. Thinking about it, Rong tosses and turns in bed. He doesn't fall asleep until midnight. The next day, Yen Feng and his roommates decide that they must stay close to Rong today. They go to class together, eat together, and go back to the dormitory together. However, after a long time nothing happens. After all, they are students who have never been out of the society. They don't know how scoundrels behave. Seeing that nothing happens in the evening, they let down their guard. Rong is going to the library. Yen Feng, who is seriously sleep-deprived, follows him with a yawn. At this time, there are few people on the campus. When a van stops in front of them, there are no other students around. Boy, have you prepared the money? The tattooed man is very straightforward. After Rong says that he doesn't have the money, he says, "Please." He also talks about how cute his younger sister, who is in junior high school, is in his hometown, so he invites Rong into the van. Yanfeng shouts at Rong. Before closing the door, the tattooed man says arrogantly, "Hey, we are inviting Rong to have some fun. Mind your own business." Mind your own business. Yanfeng pulls a tree branch and is about to smash the window. However, when he turns around, he sees that the back of the van is already far away, with black smoke rising from it. In a hurry, he only has time to write down the license plate number. The van passes by a white BMW and disappears around the corner. Screech. The BMW stops in front of Yanfeng, and Lin Luoran's face appears. "It's you." Yanfeng is still holding the stick in his hand. He doesn't know what to do. He has a deep impression of Lin Luoran, so he recognizes her at first sight. Lin Luoran certainly remembers this boy who she once asked for directions. On the way, she realizes that she doesn't know Rong's contact information or which dorm he lives in. Lin Luoran is thinking whether she should ask Professor Qi for help. However, as soon as she enters the campus, she sees the boy who walked with Rong last time. Lin Luoran feels that it is a coincidence. "Excuse me, which dorm does Rong live in? Do you have his contact information? Is he looking for Rong?" Yanfeng is stunned. Then he realizes he was taken away. "I'm worried that he might be in danger. Let's call the police first." Yanfeng continues. Lin Luoran frowns. "When did this happen?" "Just now. It was the van that collided with yours." Lin Luoran steps on the accelerator and the van turns around. Yanfeng jumps in front of the van and says, I remember the license plate number. Let me go with you." "Get in." Seeing that the campus bell seems to be cold, Yanfeng opens the back door and slips in. He is still holding the stick in his hand, which is quite funny. Lin Luoran asks for the license plate number and releases all her spiritual mind. Her spiritual mind stretches for miles, searching for the car in the endless stream. "It's not this one. No, it's not. It's this one." The appearance and the license plate are the same. Lin Luoran opens her eyes again. She is confident and starts the car to chase after the van. Yanfeng is a little nervous. A BMW driver must be rich. He doesn't know if the campus belle is close to Rong and how much she will do to save him. "Anyway, Rong, you are such a scumbag. How dare you lie to me and say that you don't know her? Damn it. Why would she save you when you don't know her?" Lin Luoran has no idea what Yanfeng is thinking. While driving, she asks about the whole story. Soon she gets the general idea. So, Rong actually called her for help when he had the chance? However, Rong didn't call her in the past 3 or 4 days. Lin Luoran thinks more highly of him. Whether it is out of self-esteem or other reasons, Lin Luoran believes that Rong is a good student. He is a good friend of Luodong. What worries Lin is whether she can go home in time for dinner. Rong's sudden appearance at the dinner table will be a pleasant surprise for her. Chapter 207. Why does Chao Liang care about a poor student? At the moment, Chao Liang is sitting in a private room of a famous slow shake bar in our city. He is different from the gentleness he shows in front of Zheng Tian. His face is full of arrogance and pride. He is also 25 years old. Among his peers, most of them have just graduated from the ivory tower 1 or 2 years ago. Maybe they are still looking for jobs that suit them, or maybe they have just settled down and are thinking about saving money to buy a house and get married. What about Chao Liang? He is only 25 years old, but he already has a decent position in Zheng's company. His job is easy, but he has real power. At the age of 25, he owns 2 houses in our city, a Maserati and a Mercedes-Benz. He also owns some shares in this slow shake bar. Even if he doesn't do anything for the rest of his life, he can live a rich life in the eyes of ordinary people. Although his father is only the general manager of Zheng's branch in our city, he also owns some shares of Zheng's company. Because of the high price of real estate, Chao Liang gets a big bonus every year. As the son of a senior manager, Chao Liang can live a comfortable life. Of course, compared with Zheng Tian, Chao Liang is nothing. Chao Liang is rich in the eyes of ordinary people. One is the son of the boss and the other is the son of a senior member of the company. They are childhood friends. Chao Liang has been in the society for some time, and he is a small leader in the company. Compared with Zheng Tian, who has been in college for 6 years, Chao Liang is undoubtedly more outstanding in the eyes of outsiders. If their identities can be swapped, Chao Liang would agree with this statement. To put it simply, what makes Chao Liang unhappy is that Zheng Tian's arrival makes him feel pressured. He feels that he has lost his shine because of the competition. He would rather be the head of a chicken than the tail of a phoenix. Chao Liang used to have his own social circle, and he was doing quite well in it. He had many friends and was very popular. However, when Zheng Tian comes to our city, Chao Liang becomes Zheng's follower. He hates Zheng Tian for taking away his glory, but he also looks forward to following Zheng Tian to a higher social circle. This contradictory mentality makes him lose his temper at the slightest thing, just like those days in the month. Chao Liang has never been low-key, but now he is even more sinister. Obviously, this is the reason why Rong is so unlucky. Chao Liang is the son of the boss and the son of a senior official. It is reasonable for Chao to be Zheng Tian's follower. However, what makes Chao feel so unfair is that 20 years ago, he and Zheng Tian used to play with mud in the same yard. At that time, Zheng Tian's father was Lao Chao's subordinate. If Zheng Tian's father didn't go into business first, Chao Liang thinks that he and Zheng Tian should be in the same position now. Of course, Chao doesn't think he is being extreme. He is still his childhood friend. In front of Zheng, he is his childhood friend. In Chao's eyes, Rong is the law. In Chao the strong Liang thinks. Law is Chao. Chao is Chao. Chao is Zheng is Yang. But Chao is and Chao. Chao. And he is. It's just dark, and the bar is not open yet. When Rong is pushed into the bar, several young women in revealing clothes and smoky makeup look at him in surprise. When they see the brothers who usually work in the bar, they suddenly realize what is going on. Maybe someone pissed off Mr. Chao again? In order to keep their jobs, they just keep quiet and do what they are doing, pretending that they didn't see anything. Soon after they escort Rong into the private room, a man and a woman walk in. The man is holding a wooden stick, which looks ridiculous. The woman is stunning under the flickering light. This combination was a little strange, but there was no reason not to do business. Someone still politely received the two of them. They didn't even suspect that the young boy was here to cause trouble. The attack power of the wooden stick in his hand was really trash with a combat power of only 5. The young woman asks for a private room. Although the private room is right next to Chao's, these people don't think too much about it. Both the man and the woman look thin and gentle, which makes people relax easily. Beauty, this is the wine list. When the bartender is thinking about how to promote the wine, the young woman points at the wine list. They are all expensive. Wow, this is a big commission. The bartender is happy and becomes more enthusiastic. How many people are there? 2. Yan Feng put up 2 fingers. The 2 bottles of wine that cost 4 digits made him dizzy. He had been to this bar with his friends before, but at most, he only sat in the booth. He had never been to a private room. Wine that cost 4 digits, cough cough. Although his family had a small business, if he dared to drink like this, he would most likely be beaten to death by his father. Soon the wine is served. The amber wine is sparkling in the glass. Yan Feng notices that the campus bell is listening to the people next door. He sticks to the wall and listens. The sound insulation is so good that Yan Feng doesn't know how the campus bell can listen to the sound. Yan Feng thinks that there may be a fierce fight later. Since he has ordered the wine, he might as well drink it to boost his courage. He doesn't care if the wine needs to be diluted or not. He holds the bottle and starts to drink. When Lin smells the aroma of the wine, she finds that her roommate, Rong, burps with an empty bottle and giggles. Haha, campus bell. Hi, we meet again. Seeing that Rong is pushed into the room and almost falls, Chao Liang raises his glass of wine and gives Rong a fake salute. He smiles. The bald man with a scorpion tattoo on his arm laughs. Mr. Chao, here you are. Shall we go out or? There are 2 kinds of repairmen. One is done by the employer, and the other is done by them. The tattooed man is very competent. Chao Liang pats his female companion and says, Go and have a drink with Brother Bao. Chao Liang is surprised when he sees Rong, not to mention how his female companion drinks with Brother Bao. Rong is indeed a student from an ivory tower. He seems to have a backbone different from those white-collar workers who are easily frightened. Rong, you must have seen the bill. 140,000 yuan. How are you going to pay it back? Rong shows a rare sarcastic smile. Even if he has the money, he won't pay 140,000 yuan. Rong doesn't have the money. Even if he has the money, he won't pay 140,000 yuan. I don't have money and I don't owe you money. Rong forces himself to look at Chao Liang in the eyes. He knows that he may not win by being tough, but he will definitely lose if he is weak. In this world, these people will just beat him up. He will never agree to pay 140,000 yuan to Rong. Chao Liang bursts into laughter. Suddenly, he pours the wine on Rong's face. You're shameless. Brother Bao, do it. It was one of Brother Bao's men who hit Rong. Rong doesn't know how he offended the rich man in front of him. Rong is about to be blackmailed by him. Rong is punched in the face twice. Chao Liang has a twisted sense of pleasure when he bullies ordinary people. When he sees Rong's neck is stepped on and he is lying on the ground, Chao Liang's pleasure reaches the climax. To be honest, I don't need your 140,000 yuan. If you're willing to kowtow 3 times in front of everyone, I'll write off the money. I heard that your sister just started middle school today. Do you understand what I mean? Rong struggles but can't move. He clenches the red carpet in the room. As he expected, these people are just bored and they are here to make fun of him. Just because of this ridiculous reason. They want to threaten him and investigate his family. Kowtow 3 times. This is a matter of dignity. On one hand, it's his dignity. On the other hand, it's a potential threat to his family. Rong feels that time is passing slowly. He has a bitter taste in his mouth. After being punched twice, his teeth seem to be loose. Laughter comes from above Rong's head. Rong feels dizzy. The dim light in the room makes him feel that ghosts are everywhere. What is dirtier than ghosts is the human heart. Rong feels dizzy. Yan Feng should have called the police. Unfortunately, as in the TV series, they will probably show up at the end. Chao Liang's laughter is like a slow-motion scene in a movie. When the door of the room is kicked open, Chao Liang doesn't even have time to stop laughing. A female voice says coldly, "You kowtow 3 times and we'll call it a day." Rong feels that the voice is familiar. He raises his head and finds that it is Luodong's sister, whom he met on the train. He remembers the beautiful handwriting on the note. It is signed Lin Luoran. Why is she here? Yes, hurry up and kowtow 3 times, ah. Yan Feng held the wooden stick in his hand. His eyes were bloodshot, and he staggered as he stood at the door. Obviously, he was drunk, and he was like a fox pretending to be a tiger. Chao Liang smiles instead of getting angry. He says, "Student Rong, is it your little lover who is here to save you? Brother Bao, it's not good for someone to break into your place, is it?" Chao Liang says with a smile. "Mr. Rong, is it your little lover who is here to save you? Brother Bao, it's not good for someone to break into your place." Chao Liang also has a strange feeling. Why didn't the bartender and the security guard come to stop them when they kicked the door open? What on earth happened? Brother Bao laughs. He steps forward and reaches out his hand to hold Lin Luoran's hand. "Little beauty, are you here for me?" Lin Luoran dodges his hand and looks at him coldly. "You have a foul mouth. Kowtow 3 times and we'll call it a day." Chao Liang is amused. "Let's see who is going to kowtow." "Brother Bao, this little beauty is very arrogant. I'm afraid we have to play with her." Brother Leopard feels that he has lost face. Hearing this, he and his men laugh wretchedly. Several strong men surround Yan Feng. Lin Luoran pulls Yan Feng in and closes the door cooperatively. "Are you alright?" Lin Luoran looks at Rong. It seems that Rong has been hit several times. It's all his fault. He is not a good drinker and he drinks too much. If he didn't act like a drunkard in the hall, Rong wouldn't have been beaten. "Let's go. Let's get out of here," Rong says with difficulty. No matter how capable Luodong is, Rong is alone now. Rong knows what is going to happen. Chao Liang flicks his fingers and sits down on the sofa. It's too late to leave now, but Lin Luoran is indeed beautiful. She is much better than the vulgar men around him. As soon as some malicious thoughts flashed through his mind, Lin Luoran suddenly laughed in the dim light. Chapter 208. In about 10 minutes, everything was settled. Chao Liang, who is trying his best to stay calm, refuses to kowtow. However, he is not a tough guy either. Seeing that Lin Luoran has taken care of Brother Leopard, he knows that he has met a master. Of course, Chao Liang doesn't know what a cultivator is. He thinks that Brother Leopard and his men are so weak that they have met a tough opponent. Rong is sitting on the sofa. He feels like he is in a dream. Maybe the ups and downs of life are too fast? Yan Feng is sleeping on the sofa with a stick in his arms. He has no idea what just happened. Lin Luoran leans on the sofa and asks casually, "Are you saying that you are from the Zheng's family?" The Zheng's family is a real estate tycoon. Before Lin Luoran became a cultivator, she had heard about how rich the Zheng's family is. The problem is that Lin Luoran, who couldn't even afford a square meter 4 years ago, is going to meet the heir of the Zheng's family? Things in the world were really too unpredictable. This Chao fellow's eyes were flickering. Did he really think that he was a fool? Lin Luoran looks at her watch. It's 7:30. Dinner should be ready at home. Lin Luoran can't make it for dinner anyway. She might as well help Rong deal with everything today. Fine. Call the client. Chao Liang thinks that Lin Luoran is afraid of the Zheng's family. Although he is jealous of Zheng Tian's name, he is also relieved. He heard that Zheng Tian has been practicing martial arts for more than 10 years. Even if they can't come to an agreement, they can solve the problem by force. Though Chao feels ashamed to ask Zheng Tian for help, he is sure that Zheng Tian will help him in front of outsiders. Chao Liang calls Zheng Tian while Lin Luoran is smiling. The busy tone rings. Chao looks at the gangsters lying on the floor and Brother Leopard, who is trembling in the corner. Chao feels that every busy tone is hitting his heart. Pick up the phone, I don't want to kowtow. Hello? Lin Luoran hears Zheng Tian's voice on the phone. Because the communication device is a bit distorted, Lin Luoran doesn't recognize that it is Zheng Tian. However, Chao Liang has asked Zheng Tian for help. Of course, Chao Liang is very polite. He doesn't want to embarrass himself. Chao Liang looks at the evil woman on the sofa. She is resting with her eyes closed, as if she is asleep. Chao Liang's face is full of hatred. Zheng Tian has just woken up from meditation when he receives the call from his childhood friend. Sure enough, his trip to Chengdu was not very peaceful. During the day, someone told him that a Han Dynasty tomb had been discovered in a suburban villa developed by the Zheng Corporation. There were experts rushing to the construction site, and the site had been sealed off. This was a good thing for the archaeologists, but for the Zheng Corporation, if the Han Dynasty tomb had to be excavated, it would affect the construction period. Zheng Tian is still worried about this problem. Chao Liang, his childhood friend, calls for help. When it rains, it pours. All the troubles are piled up together. Zheng Tian has to go. Chao Liang is right about one thing. Even after so many years, Zheng Tian still cares about Chao Liang. Soon he arrives at the bar. The door is closed and there is a sign saying closed. Zheng Tian feels that things may be more troublesome than he thought. He gets out of the car and tries to push the glass door open. Soft music is playing and lights are flashing. Waiters, bartenders, security guards, and performers are all sleeping on the round sofa in the hall like a row of fish. There are no wounds and it doesn't seem to be drugged. The culprit must have some tricks up his sleeve. Zheng Tian feels that he is too arrogant to come alone. When he opens the door of the private room, he is nervous. Because of the dim light, the first thing he sees is people lying on the floor, and his childhood friend who is restless. There are also 3 people on the sofa, but he can't see them clearly. Are these 3 people the culprits of Chao Liang's bar? Zheng Tian, you are here. Chao Liang's eyes light up. Compared with Chao Liang, who has no trump cards but is extremely arrogant, Zheng Tian's IQ has been transferred to his EQ. As soon as he enters the room, he notices that something is wrong and he is more tactful in his speech. Who are you? Liang offended you. I apologize on his behalf. It's boring to fight and kill. There are always other solutions. As soon as he enters the door, Lin Luoran, who is sitting against the light, recognizes Zheng Tian at a glance. Lin Luoran used to sell elixirs, so she remembers the buyer. Zheng Tian is only at the level of the innate. Mr. Lin brought him here, and tasted the newly brewed spirit wine of Lin's family as a guinea pig. The world is indeed a small place. Zheng Tian, why are you bullying a college student instead of cultivating in the mountains? As soon as Zheng Tian hears the voice of the person in the shadow, he feels as if a flash of lightning flashes across his eyes. The voice is so familiar. When Lin Luoran shows her face, he feels that the flash of lightning turns into thunder. God, he can't wait for a bolt of lightning to fall from the sky and strike him to death on the spot. Lin, Master Lin. The more anxious Zheng Tian is, the more he tries to stop himself from bowing. However, Lin Luoran waves her hand and stops him. Zheng Tian's master? How can he be Zheng Tian's master at such a young age? What era is it? Why does Zheng Tian have to follow the example of a master, a disciple, and a school? Chao Liang couldn't figure out what was going on. He had a hunch that he couldn't save his face in a short time. I didn't know Master Lin was here. Zheng Tian is so anxious that his forehead is covered with sweat. He came to our city this time because he felt that his childhood friend was a little arrogant. However, he can't figure out how he offended Master Lin. What? If I wasn't here, wouldn't it be easier for you to bully an ordinary person, young Master Zheng? Lin Luoran points at Rong Donglin, who is sitting on the sofa nervously. Rong is worried about Lin Luoran when he hears about the Zheng's company. Hearing that Master Zheng seems to be Lin Luoran's junior, Rong feels relieved. Bully an ordinary person. Hearing this, Zheng Tian wants to kill himself with a piece of tofu. He knows that there are 2 seniors in the level of laying foundation in the R city. Even if he wants to show off, he won't bully people here. Isn't he cautious enough? Zheng Tian, who doesn't understand the situation, wants to cry but has no tears. He can't ask Master Lin, so he can only ask Chao Liang. Chao Liang wants to whitewash his story in front of his childhood friend. However, Lin Luoran is looking at him with a faint smile. Chao Liang's cold eyes make him sweat and lose the courage to lie. The more Zheng Tian listens, the paler his face becomes. Chao Liang has changed. That day, he promised Lin Luoran that he wouldn't cause any trouble. It turns out that he is still playing dirty tricks, bullying others. Zheng Tian feels that he has been deceived and fooled. More importantly, he is worried about Chao Liang. It's not a big deal that Chao Liang bullies others, but the one he bullies is a college student who deserves Master Lin's help. Zheng Tian doesn't know whether to say that Chao Liang is unlucky, or that he is the unluckiest. Zheng secretly glances at the student. His face is purple. Obviously, Chao Liang has beaten him up. At this critical moment, Zheng Tian is very decisive. Yen, kneel down. Kowtow to Master Lin and apologize. Lin Luoran knows that this has nothing to do with Zheng Tian. Maybe the Zheng's company won't bother Rong anymore. Lin Luoran stands up, points at Rong and says, he is here. It has nothing to do with me. Do you want to kowtow or do something else? It's none of my business. Hey Rong, I'll wait for you outside. Come out when you're done. Rong has a chance to regain his dignity. Should he be afraid of revenge, be cowardly, or fight for what he deserves? Lin Luoran is not God. She can only help Rong once. But it's up to Rong to decide what kind of person he should be. Lin Luoran walks past Zheng Tian. Zheng Tian holds his breath. In fact, for Rong, it means that he has abandoned the cowardice in him. For Chao, it is a humiliation. Zheng Tian actually wants him to kneel down and apologize. Not to that powerful young woman, but to the poor student who was under his feet half an hour ago. Chao Liang clenches his fists tightly. Suddenly he feels a pain in his back leg and can't stand steadily. Before he realizes it, he has already knelt down. Zheng Tian kicks him. Chao Liang can't believe it. He looks up and sees Zheng staring at him seriously. Zheng says word by word, kneel down and apologize. Lin Luoran waits in the car for less than 10 minutes. Rong comes out of the bar with Yen Feng on his shoulder. His face is bruised, but he walks steadily. Lin Luoran can guess what happened to Rong. In fact, she likes people around her to be kind and harmless. However, the world is so strange that innocent people are always bullied. Lin Luoran doesn't support bad people, but she hopes that good people can be tough instead of always being weak. Take this incident as an example. Chao Liang drove too fast on campus, and many people saw it. Rong was on the right side. If Rong had pointed out that Chao Liang was in the wrong at the beginning, Chao Liang wouldn't have thought that Rong was a pushover, and Rong wouldn't have pushed his luck. What happened tonight didn't happen. Let's go. I'll drive you home. Lin Luoran looks at the time. Even the dining table has been cleaned up. Besides, there is a drunkard in the house. Lin Luoran doesn't want to take Rong home tonight. Thank you. After getting in the BMW, Rong remained silent for a while. What he did for Lin Luoran was nothing but 2 bowls of instant noodles. However, the note that Lin Luoran gave him and promised to help him when he was in trouble is so meaningful. This is not a meal. Rong doesn't know how to repay Lin Luoran's kindness other than saying thank you. Lin smiles but says nothing. She drives to the University of Chuan. Inside the private room, Chao Liang is kneeling on the ground, trembling. A man's knees are gold. This time, he may never be able to raise his head in front of Zheng Tian in the rest of his life. Chao Liang is angry and resentful. Bang! Zheng Tian hits on the wooden table. The corner of the table is broken. Zheng Tian puts his hand on the table and doesn't move. Chao Liang is the supervisor of the decoration of the bar. Seeing that Zheng Tian smashes the wooden table, Chao stares at Chao in astonishment. I'm not showing off my skills. Compared to Junior Master Lin, my skills are like a small stream compared to the ocean. Yang, I asked you to kowtow because I wanted to save you. After saying that, he gently moved his palm away. Chao Liang's pupils shrink. The corner of the solid wood table is covered with sawdust. It seems that Zheng Tian is laughing at Chao Liang's ignorance. Looking at his childhood friend's solemn expression, he suddenly felt that there was a chill in the air-conditioned room. It was so cold that it reached his bones. Chapter 209. The cyan little fox has been occupying the bamboo house on the island in the backyard of Lin's house for a long time. It pesters Lin Luoran for a lot of spirit herb seeds, and starts to plant spirit herbs around the bamboo house. Nowadays, the spirit herbs she planted outside have changed their medicinal properties. Lin Luoran has her own space. She can throw some seeds of spirit herbs and let the cyan little fox do whatever it wants. The fox has demarcated the island as a forbidden area. Except for Lin Luoran, if anyone else wants to step into its territory, the fox will show its teeth and make a headache. Lin Luoran always feels that she is raising an ancestor instead of a medicine fox. Of course, cyan little fox and Goldie don't get along well with each other in terms of temperament and species. Goldie likes to stay on the bamboo roof of the island. Both the eagle and the fox are intelligent. They know that they belong to Lin Luoran, and they can't kill each other. If they do something wrong, they agree that you want the roof and I want the house. Luodong hears that Rong is studying at the University of Chuan. He pesters Lin to see him on the weekend. It has only been 2 days since the incident in the bar. Lin feels dizzy searching for the soul wood in a pile of documents, so she agrees to meet Luodong on the weekend. Before that, Lin remembers the large scorpion shell she got in the desert. She has reached the level of laying foundation, and her magic weapon is the Sword of Bright Snow. However, she doesn't have any armor. Is it time for her to study refining weapons? Also, she needs to reforge the snow sword which was stained with devil chi. Looking at the small volcano in her space, Lin feels that she is blessed. With the help of the strange fire, she doesn't need to worry about running out of wacken. It shouldn't be a big problem to refine the scorpion shell. With the guidance of White Fairy, Lin Luoran can refine weapons. Even if she can't make a delicate armor, she doesn't need to be waterproof or dustproof. Lin Luoran will be satisfied as long as she can inlay 2 magic circles on it to protect herself. The gophers have hollowed out the flesh inside the scorpion shell, leaving a complete shell. The scorpion shell is 7 or 8 meters long. If it is made into an armor, everyone in the Lin family will have a circle of armor. However, Lin Luoran thinks that the workload will be too much for her. This is not an online game where Lin Luoran only needs to prepare the materials and click to combine them. How to embed the magic circle is already a headache for Lin Luoran. He spent 2 days in the basement studying the general principles. He had the refining techniques, but if he wanted the formation, he didn't have it at all. Maybe the one who wrote the general outline never thought that there would be an individual cultivator like Lin Luoran who has no master to teach her. There is no such thing as magic circles in the materials of laying foundation given by White Fairy. Wait, if she has to talk about magic circles, she seems to have seen them? After the weather changed, Lin Sanjiu moved a multifunctional cabinet under the apple tree. She put some things that could not be soaked by the rain, such as some papers. After searching for a while, Lin Luoran finally finds the magic circle she has seen before. It is copied from the jade plate in Commander Qin's house. The pencil mark is a little blurred, but the outline is still there. After flipping through it, she remembered that since she could copy this formation from the jade token, there were also various offensive formations inside the Sword of Bright Snow, which she could use to forge weapons in the future. As long as he persevered, he would be able to walk it out bit by bit. Lin Luoran rubs her eyes, puts down the paper, and closes her eyes. She has been studying it for 2 days. The lines of the whole magic circle have formed a direction in her mind. She closes her eyes and recalls it clearly. Lin Luoran moves her fingers slightly. A stream of lines with reiki flows out from her fingertips. She draws an outline in the air. There is a slight hesitation, and the outline of the magic circle disappears. Lin Luoran has to start all over again. She can't remember how many times she has drawn in the air in the basement. She only knows that she has filled up the broken nodes of the jade plate bit by bit. When Lin Luoran walks out of the basement, her eyes are bloodshot. She has stayed in the basement for several days. When she comes out, she feels sad to see Lin Luodong. The weekend Lin Luoran promised has already passed. Lin Luoran is holding a piece of wood in her hand. She has carved a magic circle with reiki on it. The magic circle has some protective effect, but it is far less than what Commander Qin said. Lin Luoran doesn't know whether she made a mistake or the materials she used are not good enough. Even the effect of the magic circle has been weakened. What's more, the reiki of the magic circle on the wood is dissipating. It seems that she can't see the effect if she doesn't practice with real materials. Cultivation is such a waste. Alas. Looking at Luodong who is pouting, Lin Luoran ruffles the boy's hair. Let's go. Let's go and see Rong today, shall we? It is only 5 o'clock, and Luodong has just finished school. College students can go to school on weekdays and weekends. Rong's face is injured. Maybe he hasn't started a part-time job yet. Lin Luoran can go to the University of Chuan now. Lin Luodong smiles happily. The cyan little fox has sharp ears. It runs from the island to Lin Luoran's feet, and refuses to leave. Lin Luoran has no choice but to put the fox into the car with her. Lin Luodong sits in the passenger seat. The cyan little fox nestles in Lin Luoran's arms. It doesn't disturb Lin Luoran while she is driving. Instead, it looks out of the window. The neon lights in the city are different from those in the underground world. However, whenever the sun sets and the backyard of Lin's house is lit up, the cyan little fox can't help but think of the underground world. It tells itself that Bai is in seclusion and can't go back yet. On the busy driveway, the street lights are reflected in the cyan little fox's pupils. The light and shadow are mottled, covering the tears in its eyes. No matter how it disguises itself and how domineering it is still the little fox that loves to cry. Lin Luoran sees its sadness in the rearview mirror, and her heart softens. Doesn't the cyan little fox know that the white fox is probably dead now? Lin Luoran used to think that it didn't know, but now she is not so sure. To Lin Luoran's surprise, Rong Donglin is not in the dormitory at this time. Yen Feng is reluctant to see Lin Luoran again. He was drunk that night, but he didn't lose his memory. He still remembers a lot about what happened after he was drunk. Of course, compared to losing face in front of the campus bell, Yen Feng couldn't let go of the fact that the slow shake bar had hung a sign to close down after he learned that the matter had been solved that night. Are you saying that Rong went to the excavation site with Professor Qi? Lin Luoran has been cultivating in seclusion these days, so she doesn't know anything about the Han Dynasty tomb. Yen Feng nods. Yes. A lot of bamboo slips were excavated from the tomb. Professor Qi is an expert in this field, so he was invited there. It seems that there is also the Shui script. Donglin is an expert in this field, so he was invited by the Zeng family to be Professor Qi's assistant. Rong's roommate seems to be a chatterbox. Lin Luoren only focuses on 3 key points: the Han Dynasty tomb, the Shui script, and the Zeng family. The ancient tomb should be real. Lin Luoren doesn't waste her time on the Shui script. She thinks for a while, and gets a general introduction of the Shui script. The Shui script, also known as ghost script or reverse script, is shaped like oracle bone inscriptions and bronze inscriptions. It is mainly used to record the cultural information of the Shui nationality, such as astronomy, geography, religion, folklore, ethics, and philosophy. The structure of the Shui script is similar to that of Chinese characters, but it is basically the reverse of Chinese characters. However, the characters of the Shui script can be interpreted, just like the Chinese characters of the state of Wuxia. The Shui script is the only non-alphabetic script in the world. Let's not talk about whether Rong is really an expert in the Shui script. Hearing that the Zeng family is the discoverer of the ancient tomb, the Zeng family invites Rong, a student of the Zeng family. "Aya, senior sister Lin, your dog is so cute." Since Lin Luoren is Professor Qi's apprentice, Yanfeng calls Lin Luoren Sister Lin. Seeing that Lin Luoren is thinking, Yanfeng tries to find something to talk about. He mistakes the cyan little fox for a pet dog, which almost makes the little fox explode. "Good boy, don't move." Lin Luoren notices that Luodong is not willing to give up. She smiles and says to Yanfeng, "Yanfeng, do you know where the ancient tomb is? If you are free, I would like to ask you to be my guide." Since Lin Luoren has said so, Yanfeng has to say that he is free even if he doesn't have time. He gets in the car slowly. The cyan little fox stares at him angrily, which gives him goosebumps. The ancient tomb is located in the western suburb of our city. With the expansion of universities in recent years, there is no place to build a new campus in the downtown area. Therefore, all the universities have moved to the western suburb. The ancient tomb is located in a county near our city. It is only dozens of minutes away by car. The area is famous for its bean paste, and it is gradually becoming a university town. With the opening of the high-speed railway, it takes less time to get to the downtown area of our city. The Zeng's family has developed this area because they have figured out the psychology of their customers. When Lin Luoren finds Rong in the cordoned area, it is getting dark. The bruises on Rong's face have faded a lot. It is windy in the evening, and Professor Qi's silver hair is fluttering. The old man is willing to work hard for his academic research. "Brother Donglin, look here." Lin Luodong shouts at the top of his voice, which attracts everyone's attention. Lin Luoren gets out of the car and invites Rong to dinner. She can't leave Professor Qi alone. Professor Qi is reluctant to leave. Rong points to the cold lunch box on the table and says, "Professor, you didn't eat anything for lunch." Rong sighs. It is a pity that the abalone rice provided by the Zeng's family will be wasted. Every researcher has one for several days. The Zeng's family is so rich. "Professor Qi, I can't afford abalone rice. It is just a small restaurant in the university town. Can you come with me?" The 3 students are asking him to go. The other scholars laugh and say that Professor Qi is lucky. Professor Qi feels embarrassed and gets in the car. This fox is cyan. It is rare. Professor Qi notices the abnormality of the cyan little fox as soon as he gets in the car. Hearing that the cyan little fox is a fox, Yanfeng blushes. "Professor, what's wrong with the cyan fox?" Seeing that Professor Qi is interested, Lin Luoren starts the conversation. Cyan is very difficult to dye in ancient times. It has always been a noble color. Cyan is the color of the fox. It is said that the king of the country of green mountains is cyan. However, this is just a legend in the classic of mountains and seas. Chapter 210. Lin Luoren and others find a small restaurant near the college town, which is commonly known as the Fly Restaurant. Apart from the sanitary conditions, this kind of small restaurant near the college is absolutely delicious. Students are picky about food, so the restaurants that can survive are all cheap and delicious. Pork with mashed garlic, fried water spinach, shredded potatoes with salted egg yolk, fish with pickled cabbage, tofu with brain, cold pork head, and cabbage and tofu soup. 6 dishes, 1 soup, and a small bucket of rice are enough for 4 adults and 1 kid. As for the cyan little fox, it only eats things with reiki. As long as it is taken out of Lin's space, it will steal vegetables from the kitchen and hide them in the bamboo house. It will eat slowly in the dead of night. At this time, the cyan little fox doesn't even bother to look at the dishes that are delicious for ordinary people. It puts a few pieces of paper in its mouth on the plastic stool and lies lazily on it, combing its fur. The girls in the restaurant are all talking about how cute it is in a low voice. "Professor, you've been here for 5 or 6 days. I met Master's wife yesterday and she was nagging you." Seeing that Professor Qi and Rong are discussing the documents unearthed from the ancient tomb, Yanfeng says with a piece of tofu in his mouth. Professor Qi puts down his chopsticks, shakes his head and smiles. "Yanfeng, you are not as focused as Rong when it comes to academics." Yanfeng secretly makes a face at Rong. Maybe Rong is too tired, or maybe he is still in a bad mood. Rong keeps eating and occasionally picks food for Luodong. "Professor, I heard that Rong has done a lot of research on the Shui script." They have been eating for 20 minutes. The waiter is clearing the table. Lin asks Luodong to pay the bill. She doesn't want them to wait, so she asks Rong. This was supposed to be a polite remark, but unexpectedly, Professor Qi nodded in agreement. "He's more knowledgeable than I am in the Shui script. He's a good candidate for research." Seeing that the other 3 people are looking at him, Rong explains, "My father was a scholar in the Shui script. I've learned a little, but I'm still far from being a scholar." Luodong asks what a scholar in the Shui script is. After Rong explains, he tells Professor Qi about the unearthed bamboo sheets from the Han Dynasty. "I wonder what the identity of the owner of the tomb is. These bamboo slips are actually woven with golden thread, and they're perfectly preserved. However, the contents are a little absurd." They got into the car. Professor Qi sat in the middle of the back seat and shook his head in disapproval. Absurd? In the long history of Wuxia, there are too many unexplainable existences. How could it be absurd? Maybe Rong is really interested in this field, so he doesn't hesitate to argue with Professor Qi about different opinions. He says, "The part recorded in the Shui script has nothing to do with the classic of mountains and seas. It has never been recorded. The ointment that can regrow a person's arm, and the spirit wood that can reunite the soul sound similar to the elixirs in the popular online novels. How can they exist in the real world of the Han Dynasty?" Professor Qi shakes his head. Apparently, he doesn't agree with Rong. Hearing about online novels, Yanfeng finally gets a chance to join in the conversation. He starts to discuss with Rong whether there are cultivators in the world. They talk about this in front of Lin Luoran. Normally, Lin Luoran doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. However, Lin Luoran doesn't hear what Yanfeng and Rong are talking about. Lin Luoran notices that Rong is talking about spirit wood that can reunite souls. It sounds like soul wood. Is it really God's blessing? Lin Luoran's heart is beating fast. She feels that her lips are dry. "Luodong, do you think there are cultivators of swords in the world?" Yanfeng looks around and his eyes fall on Luodong, who is the youngest among them. Luodong glances at Lin Luoran. He wants to say loudly that the person driving the car is a cultivator of swords. "Of course," Yanfeng says proudly. Rong is angry. Luodong is at the age where he is full of fantasies. If Rong asks Luodong this question, he will definitely side with Yanfeng. Professor Qi laughs and shakes his head. Lin Luoran forces herself to calm down. She asks casually, "Brother Rong is talking about the spirit wood that can reunite the soul. It sounds interesting. Professor, is that all the bamboo sheets say? This is a national treasure. We have to be extra careful when we study it. I only see something like spirit wood, and a lot of bamboo sheets waiting to be cleaned. I really don't know the details." A national treasure? Lin Luoran is speechless. She seems to be getting bolder and bolder. In the past, Lin Luoran would cower whenever she heard about the national treasure. Now she is thinking about how to get the bamboo sheets. As long as she can save Baojia, she is willing to rob a museum, let alone a bamboo sheet that is still in the Tsung's territory. Lin Luoran sends Professor Qi and the others back to the excavation site with a smile. She also drives Yanfeng to the gate of the Chuan University. Then she drives Luodong home. Lin Luoran doesn't show her thoughts on the way home. However, as a sensitive boy, Luodong always feels that his sister's smile is sneaky. He shudders. Oh, it seems that last time when his family sold boluses, his sister also smiled like this. She got a mountain of jade from the elixirs. The cyan little fox yawns lazily. It is a little sleepy in Lin Luoran's arms. Spirit wood that can reunite the soul? The fox feels that it has heard of this before when it was young. Why can't it remember? Forget it. Lin Luoran didn't ask it. It doesn't need to think about it. The cyan little fox lies down at Lin Luoran's feet and falls asleep. Lin Luoran finds Zheng Tian the next day. Zheng Tian is the director of planning of the our city branch of Zheng's company. Lin Luoran looks up his phone number and calls him directly. As soon as Zheng hears Master Lin's call, he is nervous and expectant. He runs over happily. Lin invites him to have a cup of tea under the camphor tree, and then they finish what they are going to do. Mr. Lin comes back from the villa in Qingcheng. He sees Zheng Tian going out and asks him to stay for a drink. Zheng guesses that the jar of spirit wine in Mr. Lin's hand is the spirit wine that he was lucky enough to drink last time. Zheng makes up his mind to refuse. Although Master Lin's request is whimsical for ordinary people, Zheng Tian smiles with relief after he leaves Lin's house. He is not afraid of any weird request at all. What he fears is that his relationship with Master Lin will be damaged. Since Master Lin has asked him, he is confident that he can take this opportunity to solve the problem caused by Chao Liang last time. Haha, isn't it a blessing in disguise for him? Martial Uncle Lin's residence was visited by a few other cultivators. Zheng Tian gets busy as soon as he gets home. After sending him away, Lin Luoran announces that she is going to do closed-door training at home and goes to the basement, as if she has forgotten about the bamboo sheets in the Han tomb. She doesn't know how long she will be gone if she finds the soul wood. For the safety of her family, she has to speed up the process of making the armor. Chapter 211. Autumn passes and winter comes. While the golden crab paste is still fragrant, the leaves of ginkgo trees turn yellow. After the cold wind blows, the ground is covered with yellow leaves. Winter has come quietly. The cyan little fox starts to pull up weeds to make a nest. However, the weeds in the backyard of the Lin's house are limited, so it mostly picks up bamboo leaves that fall from the island. When winter comes, many animals in the mountains hide. It is not easy for Goldie to hunt. Mr. Lin is thinking whether he should sell beef to feed Goldie every day. Until one day, Mr. Lin sees Goldie's claws covered with mud, and it catches a lazy struggling snake. Mr. Lin realizes that Goldie even dug out the snake's hole. Snap! The snake is thrown in front of Mr. Lin. Mrs. Lin screams in fear. Mr. Lin hurriedly casts a binding spell. Because he is not skilled at it, he almost uses up all the wood reiki in his body. Finally, he can tie up the snake, which weighs more than 10 kilograms. Mrs. Lin's face is covered with cold sweat. The golden hawk throws a snake down without any warning. It can really scare people to death. Goldie's temper is getting weirder and weirder. Looking at the silent golden hawk, Mr. Lin suddenly realizes, don't blame it wrongly. It found this snake for us when it was full. You are taking advantage of your daughter. The vines of iron thorns wrap the snake tightly. Mr. Lin steps forward and shakes the snake, laughing. It is winter. It is the time for snake soup. We can't finish this snake. Why don't we ask Chui and the others to eat it? Everyone in the countryside has caught a few snakes to make soup. Mrs. Lin is just scared by its size. She has no problem eating it. Hearing that they are going to eat snakes, Fatty Chui runs over happily. Seeing the snake hanging under the tree, he is amazed. How to make this snake? Mrs. Lin asks. Fatty Chui shakes his head and bluntly says that it is a waste of materials. Finally, under Fatty Chui's suggestion, the snake is divided into several parts. Some parts are made into snake soup, some snake soup with pickled cabbage, and the tender part of the abdomen is made into fried snake slices. Lucy is already 3 years old. Wang Miao. He has to move back to the city for the sake of Lucy's kindergarten. Lucy hasn't seen Luodong for a long time. Today, she finally comes to the Lin's house with her parents. Lucy turns the front yard upside down and then drags Wang Miao, To the backyard. Wang Miao has seen the golden hawk in the backyard twice. Even though Wang Miao is not afraid of anything, Goldie can still stare at her. Lucy is obviously much stronger than ordinary 3-year-old girls. She sneaks in and out of the flower bushes and vegetable fields. Wang Miao can't catch her for a while. Lucy sneaks to the small Huan Island. Cui Wanlu, stop! Wang Miao shouts with her hands on her waist. She has no way to deal with her energetic daughter. Xiao Tuanzi giggled and ran even faster with her little feet. In just a few steps, she had crossed the pontoon bridge and arrived at the small ring island. That's right. Cui Wanlu is Lucy's real name. Such a gentle and beautiful name comes from her tacky, fat father. Fatty Cui is a slave to his daughter, and he doesn't see Lucy's naughtiness at all. He says that Lucy is as clear as dew, but in fact Lucy has a tendency to develop like a ghost. The cyan little fox grins at this little girl who suddenly intrudes into its territory. Lucy is not afraid at all. She just thinks that the little fox is teasing her. Lucy claps her hands and stomps her feet, making the arrogant little fox mad. The little fox is about to stretch out its claws to scratch her, but suddenly the back of its neck is tightened. Aunt Lin! Lucy shouts loudly and rushes over to pinch the cyan little fox's nose. The cyan little fox struggles with all its strength, feeling that this posture hurts its face. However, the big hand on its back is so tight that it can't get rid of it. Seeing Lin Luoran suddenly appearing in the bamboo forest, Wang Miao stops worrying that her daughter might fall into the water. It is winter now. Even though they have drunk a lot of spirit wine and are wearing thick clothes, Lin Luoran is still wearing a simple long shirt and trousers. Wang Miao looks at Lin Luoran talking to Lucy under the bamboo forest, and feels that Lin Luoran seems to have lost some weight. You have been in closed-door cultivation every time I came here. Why are you here today? Lin Luoran smiles and warns the cyan little fox. Then she puts it down. I smell the snake soup. I can't let you all eat it. Lin Luoran and Wang Miao stand side by side in the bamboo forest. Seeing the cyan little fox running into the bamboo house, Lin Luoran and Wang Miao both remember that when they bought this house 4 years ago, Master Jia entertained them in the bamboo house and even cooked for them. Lin Luoran can still recall the taste of the fragrant balls and clouds they had at that time. However, the 4 people who had this dish together are quite different. At that time, Lin Luoran was just a green hand in cultivation. She knew nothing about spells, magic weapons, or sword spells. She couldn't even use the Reiki in her body. 4 years have passed, and she is lucky enough to lay foundation. 4 years ago, Wang Miao was a straightforward businesswoman. She was over 40 years old, but she and Fatty Cui didn't have a child. Now she is slim and pretty, and everyone loves her. In the blink of an eye, she is in kindergarten. 4 years ago, Baojia was engaged in her favorite jewelry design job. She had a grandfather who was the commander of a military division, and a rich fiancé. She was a girl that people were jealous of. 4 years later, Baojia is on the path of cultivation. Her hobby of jewelry design is suppressed. Commander Qin is forced to retire due to illness. Lu Zheng is far away from home. Baojia may be lying somewhere, waiting for God's mercy. Lin Luoran and the crazy Taoist are lucky enough to find the soul wood and wake her up. Lin Luoran doesn't know if she can find the soul wood. Lin Luoran finds that although her personal ability is getting higher and higher, there are still things that she can't control. Perhaps people would spend their entire lives in this kind of vicissitude and need? Sister Wang, do you know the whereabouts of Master Jia? 4 years have passed. The old traces of the Jia's house are gradually erased. Every detail shows that the house has changed owners, and it has become Lin's house. However, Master Jia, who went to visit his friend 4 years ago, is nowhere to be found. Lin Luoran is worried. Wang Miao shakes her head. She notices that Lin Luoran is not in a good mood, so she doesn't mention that Master Jia's family has been looking for him for 4 years without any news. As long as Master Jia is not found, it may be good news. Let's not talk about these unhappy things. Let's go and have some snake meat. Seeing that Wang Miao is not happy, Lin Luoran changes the topic and takes Lucy to the dining room. The cyan little fox, who is very picky about its food, has already smelled the fragrance. It follows them to the kitchen. Before dinner is served, it wants to grab the snake meat in the pot. However, it screams when its paw is scalded. Mrs. Lin is soft-hearted. She finds a deep plate for it, and fills it with soup and meat. The cyan little fox is insatiable. It holds the plate, squats on the stool and goes to the dining table. When the meal is about to be served, Luodong comes back from school, followed by Wei Shui. The two of them are very close and they often eat with each other. Lin's family is happy that Luodong has a good friend, so Wei Shui's family will not stop her from being close to Luodong. Luodong's grades are obvious to everyone. All parents hope that their children can be friends with a good student. Lucy feels that her uncle Luodong has been taken away. Lucy can't help but stare at Wei Shui. Wei Shui is used to being a class leader. She is not afraid of Lucy, who is only 3 years old. At the dinner table, they stare at each other, and it becomes a side dish. Everyone is very happy to see this. This warm and lively snake feast is just a holiday for Lin Luoran. When she steps into the basement again, she becomes serious. The basement is full of lines. Lin Luoran calculates again and again. The whole room is covered with lines. There is almost no place to stand. Fortunately, the result is gratifying. Lin Luoran looks at the translucent jade in her palm. This is the most successful protective jade pendant she has ever made. It took her 3 months to figure out the structure of the protective circle and reduce the complicated lines to a palm-sized jade pendant. Zheng Tian has already sent the bamboo sheets to Lin's house. In order to concentrate on the magic circle, Lin Luoran restrains herself from reading it. To do a good job, one must first sharpen his tools. It is important to find the soul wood, but the safety of her family is equally important. Lin Luoran doesn't want to experience the same thing again. In the same way, Lin Luoran thinks it is necessary to spend 3 months studying magic circles to make the armor. She gathers a stream of Reiki in her hand and attacks the jade plate on the ground. When the Reiki is 1 foot away from the jade plate, the light on the jade plate soars, and then the Reiki disappears. It seems that nothing has happened. Lin Luoran continues to experiment several times. The jade plate on the ground finally breaks and turns into powder. It is more rotten than the jade plate of Qin's family. It seems that she underestimated the material of the jade plate and the cultivation of the crazy Taoist at that time. Jade pendants forged from the same material, even if they were to be enchanted, would have different effects depending on the cultivation level of the person. The jade plate made by Lin Luoran can withstand any attack of the level of training qi. However, it can only withstand the first attack of the Wakan of the level of laying foundation. Lin Luoran is not good at making weapons, but it is also because of the material. Jade can lock Reiki, so it is the first choice for carving magic circles. However, it is still a long way from being a real material for making weapons. Lin Luoran thinks of the big blue stone she once saw on the mountain of her hometown. At that time, she only felt that its material was unusual, and there was a strange black flower parasitic on it. However, Lin Luoran doesn't know how magical the black epiphyllum is until now. At that time, her body was cleansed by the strange fruit in the space. It was the best time for her to cultivate. However, there was no one to guide her and she didn't know how to cultivate. If Hayten didn't accidentally open up her ocean of consciousness and put her on the path of cultivation, she would still be an ordinary person after the Reiki in her body dissipated. She could only guard the space and grow vegetables to make a fortune. She would be an ordinary person for the rest of her life. How can the black epiphyllum be an ordinary bluestone? Lin Luoran feels that it is a kind of material for making weapons recorded in the introduction of swords. However, she doesn't know if it is suitable for making the protective jade plate. Chapter 212. Lin Luoran cuts a 2-meter-long scorpion shell for an experiment. After being forged by the strange fire, the stiff scorpion shell gradually turns into a pool of black liquid in front of Lin Luoran. The liquid floats above the strange fire and changes its shape from time to time. The 2-meter-long raw materials finally turn into a pool of black liquid the size of a big bowl. Obviously, this is the essence of the scorpion shell after it is forged. Lin Luoran's 3 months of preparation is not in vain. She not only deduces and completes the broken magic circle, but also repeatedly studies the weapon forging chapter in the introduction of swords. She has sorted out a set of techniques that she thinks are more suitable for making armor. Lin Luoran leaves a lot of Reiki jades around her, and sits cross-legged not far away from the strange fire. While her 10 fingers are dancing, a few milky translucent lights appear on her fingertips. They connect with her fingers and shoot to the liquid scorpion shell. Lin Luoran recalls the shape she originally designed. She controls the light bit by bit, and carefully pulls the black liquid apart. This step seems simple, but in fact, this pool of black liquid is the essence of the indestructible scorpion shell. Lin Luoran has to exert a lot of effort to pull it apart. If one wanted to refine according to the desired shape, the divine sense was very important. If one's divine sense was not strong enough, many people who wanted to refine a saber for the first time might end up as a sword. This kind of subtle control was a test of one's mastery of divine sense. The liquid is pulled apart and thinned. Soon, it takes shape above the strange fire. The surface is shining with dazzling light spots. Little by little, Lin Luoran turns it into the ideal shape. There is not too much black liquid. It is dark and shiny. Under Lin Luoran's control, the cuffs and waistline gradually appear. Lin Luoran's face turns pale. After the Reiki jades around her are sucked dry, a black prototype similar to a shoujo manga battlesuit appears in front of Lin Luoran. After she withdraws her Reiki, the battlesuit falls to the ground and crushes several cabbages. It is dark but shiny, as thin as a cicada's wing but very heavy. Is this the suit made from the scorpion shell? Lin Luoran picks up the suit and blushes. She really lacks experience in this area, and the Lin family lives in the city, so it is impossible to refine armor into robes. Although the battlesuits in shoujo manga are vulgar, one thing is undeniable. They cover the shoulders, the chest, the back, and the joints of the feet. They combine the 2 key points of protection and lightness very cleverly. They are very practical. It's convenient for Mrs. Lin to wear it inside. Anyway, it's so tight that no one can tell if she's wearing a skirt or other clothes. Of course, this is just the first step. After Lin Luoran regains her wakan, she takes out the diamond of fire that she once snatched from the strange flame. Mrs. Lin doesn't have wakan in her body. Even if the magic circle is set on it, it will probably be broken into pieces like the jade pendant of Commander Qin's grandma. After all, these magic weapons are meant for cultivators. It's much more difficult for ordinary people to protect themselves. If there were no diamond of fire, Lin would probably choose to inlay several pieces of jade. Though it feels like a nouveau riche, at least it is practical. But now, with a fire diamond as the eye of the formation, it should be enough. Lin Luoran casts a spell, and carefully draws a trace of fire from the strange fire. The fire burns on the waistline of her clothes. The small piece softens gradually. Lin Luoran uses wakan to float the diamond of fire, and quickly puts it in the liquid. She withdrew the strange flame. When the clothes cooled down and took shape again, the diamond of fire was already firmly embedded in the waistline of the clothes. The red crystal is particularly dazzling on the black clothes. Lin Luoran forces herself to calm down, and puts the clothes into the space. Walking out of the basement, she found that she was hungry. She went to the kitchen to find something to eat. Looking at her watch, she found that it took her 3 days to make the armor. No wonder she was so hungry. After filling her stomach, Lin Luoran goes back to her room, and has a good sleep on the warm and soft bed for more than 10 hours. When she opened her eyes again and returned to the space, she was full of energy again. The reason why she is so serious is that the next step of refining weapons is very important: carving a magic circle. The armor Lin Luoran makes is a low-rank magic weapon. At the beginning of refining and purifying materials, even if there is a small mistake, the final quality will be affected because the materials are not pure enough. If there is a careless mistake during shaping, for example, making a red hairpin, the hairpin will be ugly at most. However, if there is a mistake in carving a magic circle, the magic weapon will be destroyed if it is not melted down. The scorpion shell is indestructible. Lin Luoran can't carve a magic circle directly with wakan. The most effective way is to control the strange fire to carve the magic circle. Lin Luoran must be very careful when drawing a line of the strange fire to carve the magic circle. She casts fire drawing spell with her right hand. A line of the strange fire is drawn out. It is like a thin needle, jumping restlessly in Lin Luoran's hand. Lin Luoran calms down and puts the first needle down. It is more like piercing than carving a magic circle. Every needle that Lin Luoran puts down is on a very mysterious point. These careless and seemingly random points gradually formed an outline. This was the crux of the protective spirit design. If Lin Luoran hadn't deduced, carved, and experimented with an incomplete magic circle, she would never have thought that the most important part of a magic circle is its point. It is these points that cause the resonance of the Reiki between heaven and earth, which changes a certain rule in the magic circle, and forms a powerful magic circle that focuses on life or death. Every spell has its corresponding handprint. The higher the level of the spell, the more complicated the handprint. Maybe it needs such a frequency to attract the Reiki between heaven and earth, to connect the points of the magic circle with the frequency of the spell. Admittedly, this is a very bold guess. Lin Luoran doesn't know if other cultivators know this. However, no matter how declining the world of cultivation is, if they want to learn magic circles, they should not be like her, who only has an incomplete magic circle to study. Every needle that Lin Luoran puts down is closely around the diamond of fire. This diamond of fire is the core of the magic circle. As long as the diamond of fire is not broken, it can continuously provide Reiki, which makes the armor work when it is in the hands of ordinary people. Concentrating, Lin Luoran puts down a needle. Some points are slightly larger, so she needs to burn them with the strange fire. Some points are very small, so she only needs to stab them quickly. This is a very exhausting work. Lin Luoran is very careful with every needle. When she is tired, she lies down under the apple tree for a while. When she is hungry, she eats some fruits. When she is thirsty, she drinks from the spring. One day, she feels that her mouth is tasteless and she suddenly realizes the passage of time. Finally, the last needle is put down. Wherever the spiritual mind goes, the trace of the magic circle is like some kind of complicated pattern, quietly telling the accumulation of history. Lin Luoran looks at the seemingly simple but mysterious clothes and smiles with satisfaction. Her nails have grown a lot longer. Maybe she has stayed in the space for a long time. Fortunately, her control of the strange fire is getting better and better. Looking at the armor in her hand, Lin Luoran knows that the last step is coming. The lines and the nodes are just the foundation of the magic circle. To make a magic circle know how to protect its owner, Reiki alone is not enough. There is the last step called enchantment. This requires the Reiki that only cultivators in the level of laying foundation have. Even Reiki is useless. Therefore, even if ordinary people get a book like the Complete Book of Magic Circles, they can only draw a bunch of useless lines. Reiki lights up the first node, the second one, the third one. Like stars covered by dark clouds, they show their true colors one by one. Lin Luoran increases the output of Reiki. Finally, after what seems to be a long wait, she sees these stars connected by Reiki into a whole. The stars move around the diamond of fire in a special orbit. The whole dress is still dark and plain, but at this moment, it suddenly has a soul. Lin Luoran smiles with satisfaction. Chapter 213. Lin Luoran presents the clothes to her mother like presenting a treasure. Before she can be praised, Mrs. Lin pinches her ear. You didn't even come to see your family during the new year. You have been in seclusion since you were eating crabs. You didn't come out until the bamboo shoots in the backyard grew old. Luodong is the top student in his grade. He has been waiting for you for the whole summer vacation. You live in the same yard and your father and I have to make an appointment to see you, right? Lin Luoran's ears turn red. Mrs. Lin has been pinching her ear since she set the neighbor's chicken free for the first time when she was 5 years old. As she grows up, Mrs. Lin rarely pinches her ear like this. It can be seen that Mrs. Lin is really angry this time. Mom, please be gentle. Lin Luoran hides behind her father as usual, seeking his protection. In the end, Mr. Lin speaks for her, and Mrs. Lin turns her eyes to the clothes. The clothes look light, but Mrs. Lin feels that they weigh dozens of kilograms. How can she wear them? Lin Luoran holds her mother's hand and puts it on the diamond of fire. Mrs. Lin feels that her middle finger is pricked. A few drops of blood fall on the diamond of fire and are absorbed quickly. What's going on? Mrs. Lin is afraid of the blood-sucking phenomenon. Mr. Lin is curious. Is this how blood recognizes the owner? Mr. Lin is getting younger and younger. Different from Mrs. Lin, who is trapped in the kitchen every day, he has kept up with the pace of the times. When he surfs the internet, he reads the latest popular cultivation novels. Mr. Lin is no stranger to blood to recognize the owner. Lin Luoran nods and Mrs. Lin is surprised. After the diamond of fire absorbs her blood, Lin feels that there is an inexplicable connection between herself and the heavy black clothes, which is wonderful. When Mrs. Lin takes the clothes from her daughter's hand, the heavy clothes become light and soft. Mrs. Lin goes back to her room doubtfully and puts it on. It's so light. I can't feel that I'm wearing an extra layer. The fabric is so tight. What a strange dress. Lin Luoran closes her eyes to feel the magic circle. Everything is normal. Suddenly, a ball of fire appears in her hand, and she throws it at her mother. Mr. Lin instinctively thinks that the person in front of him is his daughter. How could she hurt her own mother? As a result, Mr. Lin stands aside and watches. As for Mrs. Lin, Lin Luoran's attack is so fast that she, as an ordinary person, can't react at all. The fireball explodes 1 foot in front of Mrs. Lin. Mrs. Lin's body emits a faint light that blocks the fireball. This armor is like a protective cover that Lin Luoran uses spells to protect Mrs. Lin from all directions. Mrs. Lin is even more surprised. Lin Luoran has tried everything. Maybe because of the diamond of fire and the living environment of the Scorpion King, this armor has the nature of fire. When it encounters fire spells, it can not only block the attack, but also absorb some fire reiki to defend itself. This is a perfect second-grade armor. Lin Luoran can't believe that this is the first time she has made it. Mr. Lin is also amazed and very happy. The clothes made by his daughter are 100 times safer for his wife, who has no ability to protect herself. Dad, when I finish something, I will make another one for you and Luodong. Can you bear with it for a while? Mr. Lin responds to her with a loving smile. Which parent wouldn't be happy for their daughter when their daughter's ability was growing? Mrs. Lin is obviously attracted by the wonderful clothes. Before Mrs. Lin can get even with Lin Luoran sneaks back to the study. The study of Lin's house is in the bamboo house on the island. One room is occupied by Cyan Little Fox and the other room is used by Lin Luoran to collect some ancient books. Spring is coming. There are bamboo shoots sticking out from the cracks in the soil. Lin Luoran decides to dig them out later and add them to her food. Speaking of eating bamboo shoots, the spring bamboo shoots in the mountains of her hometown are as thin as a finger and as tender as magnolia. They are rare delicacies. In the old days, bamboo shoot hunters lived in the mountains in spring. They looked for this kind of wild bamboo shoots all over the mountains and finally sold them to the buyer at the price of 10 cents per shoot. This hard-earned income also contributes a lot to Lin's tuition. Whether it is for eating bamboo shoots or moving back the big blue stone, Lin Luoran has to find time to go back to her hometown and go to the mountains. It is a pity that she doesn't have time recently. Lin Luoran pushes open the door of the study, and her eyes fall on the table. There are dozens of bamboo sheets piled up on the table. Lin Luoran picks up one randomly, and finds that it is indeed a document written in the Shui script. Zheng Tian is very reliable. In order not to miss anything, he brings all the bamboo sheets written in the Shui script here. The disappearance of dozens of unearthed bamboo sheets naturally causes a commotion. After all, so many scholars and experts have seen it with their own eyes. Therefore, Zheng Tian has hired a master to forge the bamboo sheets. From the material of the bamboo sheets to the inscriptions in the Shui script and the golden thread connecting the bamboo sheets, Zheng Tian has spent a lot of money and used real gold. The bamboo sheets sent to the museum seem to be antiques of the Han Dynasty, but in fact, they have already been sent to Lin's family. Lin Luoran doesn't know how long it will take her to translate so many bamboo sheets by herself. She thinks of Rong Donglin. Rong's father is the Mr. Shui script, who knows the Shui script best. He should be the most suitable person to translate these bamboo sheets. Lin Luoran is a person of action. She drives to the University of Chuan immediately. First, she explains to Professor Qi why she hasn't heard from Rong for the past 6 months. Then she asks Rong Donglin about the Shui script. You want to hire him as your tutor? What a coincidence. We have almost finished sorting out the documents of the Han Dynasty tomb. He is in the 2nd semester of his junior year, and he is thinking about where to do his internship. You have solved his big problem. Professor Qi hopes that Rong can continue to be an academic. However, it is not possible to study a subject without eating and drinking. Professor Qi sighs because of Rong's family condition. No matter how much he appreciates Rong, he can't let him starve to death, can he? In many people's eyes, the Chinese language department is a versatile major. The choice of internship is very important. Professor Qi is glad that Lin Luoran can provide Rong with relevant work. Rong follows Lin Luoran home in a daze. Before he comes back to his senses, he is shocked by the bamboo sheets in the study of Lin's house. Rong stutters. These are from the Han Dynasty tomb. God, he has been touching these things for months. He can tell whether they are real or not. These national treasures should be in the museum now, but they are placed casually on a low table. At that moment, many thoughts flashes through Rong's mind, including the suspicion of Lin's identity. Is she a cultural relic dealer? He even thinks about calling the police. All these thoughts disappear in Lin Luoran's calm smile. Rong thinks of all the experiences he has had since he met Lin Luoran and Lin Luoran. If antique dealers are like this, what about him? Rong's forehead is covered with sweat. Lin Luoran quietly waits for him to struggle. After Rong swallows his words, Lin Luoran explains, You are right. These are the real bamboo sheets from the Han Dynasty tomb. However, since I dare to show them to you, I am not an antique dealer. To tell you the truth, I want these bamboo sheets because I need the information in them to save a person. Save a person? Rong is confused. Lin Luoran doesn't explain further. I want you to translate these bamboo sheets. I need the most accurate translation. I will return them to you when you finish. Since Lin Luoran has done him a favor, and he has to pay her back, Rong doesn't mind. He agrees to translate the bamboo sheets for Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran asks her mother to arrange a guest room for Rong, and closes the door gently. Rong begins to read the files. Lin Luoran sits on Goldie's back and casts a mini-world, to cover herself and Goldie. Then they fly over the city. Only Mrs. Lin is wearing armor. Lin Luoran is still worried about her family. She decides to fetch the bluestone in the back mountain of her hometown. For the safety of her family, though it is troublesome, Lin Luoran is willing to do so. As long as her family is still alive, no matter what kind of dangerous environment she encounters outside, Lin Luoran feels that she has a place to shelter from the wind. She feels very warm. Goldie spreads its wings and flies up. When it is in the air, it notices the little figure holding the eagle's claw. Lin Luoran looks down and doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. This little fox. Lin Luoran wants to scare the bold little fox, so she ignores it and lets it fly to the destination with the eagle's claw. Since Ellie took over the Fortune House, the interior decoration of the office building has changed. Instead of the solemn interior color, the building has become more lively and energetic. Of course, like the decoration, many people who are loyal to Ellie have taken the opportunity to be promoted. The management of the Fortune House has been replaced by the old in a short period of time. It is not strange for young people to become middle-level managers such as department managers. The fastest rising person in the Fortune House is a woman named Xian Yuanping. Xian Yuanping is the special assistant of the chairman. When Ellie is away, Xian Yuanping can make half of the decisions. Besides, the two of them are always together. There is a rumor that the new female chairman of the Fortune House is a lesbian. At the moment, the door of the chairman's office is closed. Ellie sits in front of the desk and looks at the woman sitting on the sofa carefully. She has shoulder-length hair and modern clothes. This is a beautiful urban white-collar girl. She lowers her head and plays with a small stamp. She looks satisfied. Ellie asked cautiously, "Have you figured out the secret of engraving?" In the past 2 years, Xian Yuanping has helped Ellie solve a lot of problems for this ancestral stamp of the AI family. In Ellie's opinion, this thing is very ordinary compared with other treasures in the family warehouse. She doesn't know why her grandpa still refuses to give it to Xian Yuanping. Xian Yuanping doesn't answer Ellie. After getting the stamp, she doesn't have to stay with this brainless girl anymore. However, if she wants to open that place, this girl's stamp is still useful. Xian Yuanping smiles coquettishly. Ellie wonders if the air conditioner is too hot. Why does it feel cold? I remember you once said that her ex-boyfriend was Lianping, right? Xian Yuanping's thoughts change rapidly. Ellie obviously waits for a while before she realizes it. Lianping. Ellie has a vague impression of this man. He is not only Lin Luoran's ex, but also her ex. Xian Yuanping puts away the stamp and smiles mysteriously. Chapter 214. Sitting on Goldie's back, Lin Luoran arrives at the back mountain of the Li's village in less than 10 minutes. She asks Goldie to hover in the air for a while. She directs Goldie to land on the top of the mountain, where she found the black epiphyllum. The cyan little fox is hanging on Goldie's paws. Its fur is standing up because of the strong wind. When it finally lands on the ground, it feels weak. It makes a grimace at Lin Luoran and sneaks into the grass nearby. Lin Luoran knows that it loves exotic flowers and plants. It can't stay still when it sees so many plants on the mountain. Lin Luoran leaves it alone and goes to the edge of the cliff to take a look. The blue stone is still more than 3 feet out of the ground, inlaid in the mountain. It hasn't moved at all. Lin Luoran casts the wind-riding spell and tries it gently. The blue stone sinks deeply into the mountain wall. In the past, she couldn't do anything about it. However, things are different now. She is a cultivator in the level of laying foundation. She can cast a spell of the nature of earth. How can these rocks trap the blue stone, which is neither gold nor stone? It only takes Lin Luoran 7 minutes to get the blue stone out. The blue stone is as big as a round table. After washing away the rock debris, the blue stone is green. A touch of cyan light seems to come from the middle of the blue stone. Lin Luoran closes her eyes to feel the surroundings of the blue stone. Reiki molecules of the 5 elements are flowing around the blue stone. However, the blue stone itself is still an ordinary stone without Reiki. Lin Luoran is overjoyed. The features of the blue stone are similar to those described in the introduction. It may be what she needs. Lin Luoran uses her mind and the blue stone disappears. Lin Luoran takes the blue stone and looks around carefully. She is satisfied when she is sure that there is only this blue stone nearby. Goldie may have gone to hunt for food. The cyan little fox is still nowhere to be seen. Lin Luoran doesn't want to control them too much since they belong to the outdoors. She decides to stay in the mountain for a while longer. Lin Luoran walks around the mountain for a while. She digs up a wild pear tree, a chestnut tree and a fig tree. She throws them into the space and prepares to transplant them when she gets back. It's still early. Remembering that Luodong said that the bamboo shoots they ate 2 days ago were very fresh, Lin Luoran decides to dig bamboo shoots in the mountain. This kind of bamboo shoots, which are thicker than a thumb, is a specialty of the mountain. They are not big after growing up. Lin Luoran needs good eyesight to find them. Though Lin Luoran is not wearing a raincoat, she is very agile, and the branches can't stop her. After a while, she climbs over half of the mountain and finds a lot of bamboo shoots. The bamboo shoots are enough for the whole family to eat, so Lin Luoran stops. Lin Luoran claps her hands. Thinking of Donglin's translation at home, and she wants to go back. When Lin Luoran is about to call Goldie, she hears an eagle's call and hears a Goldie's voice. She wants to come back. Lin Luoran casts the wind-riding spell and flies to the direction of the sound. People often come to this mountain. Even if there are fierce beasts, Goldie can't send a warning with its strength. It's quiet. Goldie is standing on a big tree, staring at the ground. Lin Luoran follows its eyes and sees a huge snake as thick as a bucket on the ground. The snake's body is red, and its triangular head is sticking out its tongue. Lin Luoran follows Goldie's eyes and sees a huge snake, as thick as a bucket coiled up on the ground like a mosquito coil. The snake's triangular head is sticking out its tongue. It smells terrible. The grass and trees around wither. The red snake is poisonous. No wonder Goldie wants to warn the snake. Lin Luoran understands. Then she sees a familiar small figure in front of the red snake. Lin Luoran's heart tightens. It's the cyan little fox. To be exact, the cyan little fox is lying in front of the snake. Its hair is black and shiny. There is no trace of cyan on it. Is it poisoned? Lin Luoran is wondering why Goldie would bother such a strange creature. It turns out that it wants to save the cyan little fox. Lin Luoran doesn't have time to admire the loyalty of the golden hawk. Seeing the fox lying on the ground, Lin Luoran subconsciously summons the bright sword. Kill the snake and save the fox. There are only 4 words in her mind now. No, the snake is as thick as a bucket. If it moves, it may crush the fox in front of her. She has to calm down. Lin Luoran jumps on Goldie's back. The golden hawk understands her mind and flies in the opposite direction. The red snake may think that the snack in front of it is too small, so it gives up the fox and chases after it. Goldie is not slow. At this moment, it deliberately follows the red snake and flies at a moderate altitude. Lin Luoran secretly casts a mini-world to protect herself. She flies down from Goldie's back and returns to the place where the cyan little fox is lying. Using her spiritual mind, Lin Luoran finds that the fox is still breathing weakly. Lin Luoran doesn't know how poisonous the snake is and she doesn't dare to touch the fox's body directly. The only thing she has with her is the circulation bolus. However, the effect of the circulation bolus is not a special antidote. Lin Luoran doesn't have much hope. She wraps Reiki around the bolus and feeds it to the fox. Lin Luoran doesn't dare to hold the fox in her arms. She takes out a coat from the space. As soon as she holds the fox up, she hears a rustling sound accompanied by Goldie's sharp cry. It turns out that the red snake has realized Lin Luoran's trick and has returned quickly. Lin Luoran moves aside with the fox in her arms. The venom spat by the red snake brushes against her clothes and falls on the ground. It stinks and makes a sizzling sound. What a strong snake venom! Although Lin Luoran has dodged the venom, she still feels dizzy after smelling the stench. The venom is so strong. People from neighboring villages come here from time to collect herbs and game. It is very likely that they will encounter the red snake. Although Lin Luoran doesn't like most people in Li's village, they are her neighbors after all. In a split second, Lin Luoran makes a decision. She can't let the snake live. She throws the coat up and Goldie catches it accurately with its claws. Lin Luoran turns around and cuts the snake's head with her sword. Although the red snake is also poisonous, it doesn't have a hard shell like the Scorpion King. The Grade 5 flying sword is not just for show. Lin Luoran cuts the snake's head with a backhand. The snake's blood spurts out and drops of it fall on Lin's sleeve. Several black holes immediately form. Lin Luoran quickly tears off a piece of sleeve. Even the snake's blood is poisonous. It seems that she really can't let it live. Lin Luoran feels dizzy. Cyan Little Fox's condition can't be delayed. She has to end the battle as soon as possible. She infuses Reiki into the sword and uses the spell of the sword. The temperature around suddenly drops. When the red snake is still wondering why it suddenly snows, Lin Luoran's sword has already cut its weak point. It is unexpectedly soft. Lin Luoran didn't expect that her sword could be so dangerous. The snake's head is cut off and its blood sprays out like a fountain. A locust tree on the opposite side is also affected. It corrodes and dies at a speed visible to the naked eye, which makes people shiver. With its head cut off, the red snake has no chance of survival. Lin Luoran sees the blood spraying all over the ground. It's a pity that the snake's meat is too poisonous. It can't be eaten, nor can it be left to poison small animals. Lin Luoran flicks a fireball on the snake's body and jumps on Goldie's back. The cyan little fox must be saved as soon as possible. Seeing the snake's body on fire, Lin Luoran is worried about the cyan little fox. She can't just watch it burn into ashes. She directs Goldie to go to our city. A burning smell comes. The snake's meat is sizzling, but the fire is dying down. There is only a headless snake's body on the ground. The snake's face is no longer recognizable because of the fire. After a long time, the snake's abdomen moves a little. A triangular head of a red thing pops out. The snake's forked tongue trembles in the air. It can smell the snake's venom no matter how far it is. Lin Luoran rushes home with a cloth bag in her hand. She opens the door of the study. Rong is startled, but he doesn't dare to ask. He can only watch Lin Luoran close the door of the next room. Maybe the cyan little fox has absorbed some of the venom. Drops of black liquid begin to flow out of its body. Lin Luoran doesn't dare to let the venom drip on the floor of the Lin's house. She uses Reiki to make a ball. She quickly finds a big iron basin and suspends the cyan little fox in the air. The iron basin below the cyan little fox is used to catch the venom. Obviously, this little bit of venom is not enough to force out the snake's venom. Lin Luoran thinks of Reiki. She wraps the cyan little fox with gentle wood Reiki and penetrates into its bones and flesh. This is the purest Reiki in the world. Lin Luoran got this idea from when she saved Baojia. Snake venom destroys the nervous system of the body. As long as there is strong cell regeneration, no matter whether it is a human or an animal, it should be able to expel the venom by itself. As soon as the greenwood Reiki enters the cyan little fox's body, the black venom starts to resist. Lin Luoran directs the Reiki to chase after the venom and force most of the venom to the fox's paws. Lin Luoran cuts the fox's paw with her fingertip and black blood comes out. When the blood turns red and the fur of the cyan little fox returns to its original color, Lin Luoran knows that she is right. There is a bowl of black liquid in the basin. It is actually fox blood mixed with snake venom. Lin Luoran checks the fox's body and finds that there is still some venom in its body. However, the cyan little fox is breathing steadily. Lin Luoran puts the venom in a jade bottle together with the venom sac of the Scorpion King. Lin Luoran gets a basin of spring water in the space and puts the fox in it. The mysterious water in the space has many functions that Lin Luoran doesn't know yet. However, Lin Luoran is sure that it will be good for the cyan little fox. Lin Luoran closes the door and feels tired. It seems to be easy to save the fox. However, only she knows how much Reiki she has consumed. Without Reiki, Lin Luoran is just an ordinary person. She naturally feels tired. The wind of early spring rustles the bamboo leaves. Lin Luoran suddenly remembers that there is an outsider in the bamboo house, Rong Donglin, whom she ignores. Rong Donglin is staring at the huge golden hawk in front of him. His fingers are trembling and his forehead is covered with sweat. How can there be such a big bird in broad daylight? Lin Luoran puts her hand on her forehead. She has forgotten not only Rong Donglin but also Goldie. Goldie and the Cyan Fox have long regarded this island as a forbidden area. Lin Luoran actually forgot about it. Chapter 215. How can she explain it to Rong? Out of Lin's expectation, Rong doesn't know the name of Goldie. He is just surprised that the Lins raise such a fierce bird. He is worried about the safety of the Lins. Lin remembers Rong's stiff body in front of the Goldie. She doesn't doubt that Rong is telling the truth. That night, Mr. Lin makes several bamboo shoots. Rong is impressed by the bamboo shoots and he is even more motivated to translate the bamboo sheets at night. The starry sky is a bit dim tonight, but Lin is still in a good mood. It is about 11 o'clock at night. Rong has gone back to his bedroom to rest. The backyard of the Lin's house is like the last pure land under the neon lights. The moonlight is dancing, quiet and amiable. This place will become better and more beautiful. Thinking of the blue stone in her space, Lin is full of longing. She goes to check on the cyan little fox first. The little fox is lying in its nest, but it is breathing slowly. Lin takes the fox's favorite fruits and spirit herbs and puts them next to the fox's nest. It's late at night. Lin's family members have all gone to bed. Only Rong's room is still lit. However, Lin assumes that Rong can't see through the shadows of the bamboos. She moves the blue stone out of the space. The moonlight shines through the gaps of the bamboo leaves. The island is getting more and more serene. Lin uses her mind and a pile of jade materials appears in front of her. Though unpolished, the jade contains pure and auspicious Reiki. It is still beautiful under the hazy moonlight. These are all high-end jade materials. They are worth 3 times as much as the House of the Lins if they are converted into Chinese currency. Tonight, Lin is going to bury these valuable jade materials under the Lin's house together with the blue stone. The blue stone, which is as big as a round table, gives Lin the idea. Lin feels the activity of Reiki of the 5 elements around the blue stone again. She is sure that there is no Reiki in the blue stone. She is more confident now. The first thing that arouses her suspicion is the black epiphyllum. It grows on the blue stone with a little bit of soil, and looks like it has no Reiki at all. Lin almost gets lost when she uses her inner vision. At that time, Lin Luoran thought it was a coincidence. However, as she learned about cultivation and collected many spirit herbs in the secret land, she knows that spirit herbs can never grow like this without an environment with abundant Reiki. Compared with the cities, the deep mountains have more wood Reiki, but it is only limited to the growth of ginseng and poria. Such a special species must be accompanied by treasures to help it grow. According to the description in the general introduction, this big blue stone, which is half jade and extremely hard, is the spirit gathering stone. The name sounded ordinary, and it was not very useful in refining tools, nor could it be used as medicine. However, it had a function that no other treasure could replace: setting up arrays. To be more precise, in the age of magic, every sect had plenty of such spirit-gathering stones. They were used as the core of the mountain guarding formation, and as the foundation of the mountain guarding formation, they were used as layers upon layers of formations. It can't be used to refine weapons or make elixirs. Its only function is to gather Reiki. It gathers the Reiki of the 5 elements between heaven and earth, and continuously provides the power for the magic circle to run. It is a useless stone, but it can change the surrounding environment. Nowadays, the Reiki in the world is thin and the Reiki is restless. The effect of gathering Reiki seems to be useless, but Lin Luoran has a cheating device with her. She has the bead. Lin Luoran doesn't know much about the Reiki gathering circle, but what if she sets up a big protective circle to cover the whole Lin's house? From the outside, this is a huge protective circle to ensure the safety of the Lin's house. From the inside, they are all inside the circle. The spirit gathering stone is the core of the circle. All Reiki is used on the circle, so some Reiki will leak out. As long as Lin Luoran is at home, the bead she wears will continuously convert Reiki. This house will become a perfect place for cultivation. Lin Luoran feels that her heart is pounding. Immersed in her own thoughts, Lin Luoran doesn't know that if the protective circle covers the whole Lin's house, it will be like a protective circle for the mountain. Of course, Lin Luoran lacks knowledge about magic circles. This protective circle for the mountain can only provide simple protection. When facing an enemy attack, there is no magic circle for cover, and there is no killing circle. Lin Luoran can only be attacked passively. Lin Luoran can't ask for too much. She finally cuts the Reiki gathering stone in half. She plans to bury one half of it under the island. As for the other half, she plans to do the same for the villa in Qingcheng. Putting away the other half of the spirit gathering stone, Lin Luoran casts a spell of the nature of earth. The yellow soil tumbles and becomes soft. The soil seems to be alive. It actively wraps around the spirit gathering stone and sinks it under the small ring island. 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters. Lin Luoran uses her spiritual mind to feel the movement of the spirit gathering stone. When it sinks to a depth of 10 meters, she stops the spell. At this depth, no matter what the people in the Lin's house are doing, they can't dig it out. Looking at the pile of jade on the ground, Lin Luoran sighs that she really has a hard life. She simply sits down and starts to carve the circle. Lin Luoran has been studying the protective circle for the past 3 months. She often practices on the jade, so she is very familiar with the nodes of the circle. However, it is still not easy for Lin Luoran to draw a picture of the protective circle with the whole Lin's house as the drawing paper, and the jade as the nodes. Lin Luoran closes her eyes and uses her spiritual mind to look down on the whole Lin's house. She ponders for half a night. When dawn comes, she is a little bit sure. Lin Luoran is running around the Lin's house with jade of different sizes in her hand. A piece of jade the size of an egg is placed under the fish tank in the front yard, in front of the camphor tree, on the right side of the garage, behind the embroidery building, on the root of a rose, and even under the water of a small lake. Lin Luoran has placed pieces of jade in all these places. The biggest jade is the size of a bowl, and the smallest is the size of an egg. The jade is full of reiki, which is a great fortune in the world of cultivation. Lin Luoran is not stingy at all. She had placed hundreds of pieces of jadeite. She was not physically tired, but her mind was severely exhausted. She makes a spell of the earth with her right hand, and directs the hundreds of jade to sink into the ground. The height of the jade is different, which is also a test of her control. After finishing all this, the sky is already bright. The light in Rong Donglin's room is on again. Lin Luoran doesn't want to enchant in front of him, so she stops and goes to make breakfast in the Li's village, which is far away from the R city. For years have passed, and Mrs. Li seems to have lost some weight. Her face is wrinkled. However, when she scolds people, she is more energetic than 4 years ago. Go and make a poached egg for your brother. Let him eat it before he goes to work. Mrs. Li is holding a plastic bowl in her hand. The bowl is half filled with chicken millet, and she is holding 2 hot eggs in her left hand. Sister Li complains in a low voice. Mom, you are so partial. My brother has been sleeping at home for 3 years. He doesn't look like he is going to find a job. We have to let him have a few eggs. Why don't you give this to your son-in-law so that he can carry a few more buckets of dung? Sister Li is still murmuring. Mrs. Li picks up the feather duster and starts to beat Sister Li. Didn't you just eat a few eggs? Why are you talking so much nonsense? Anping is the only graduate student in the village. How can he compare with your dung picker? I'm going to beat you to death. Mrs. Li is strong, but she is not as flexible as Sister Li. The mother and daughter are running and hiding in the yard full of chicken and duck droppings. Her old hen, which has just laid an egg, is so scared that it flaps its wings and flies to the wall, cackling. These scenes have been played countless times in the past 3 years. People in the Li's village are used to it. Li Anping lies on the bed with peace of mind. He turns a blind eye to the argument between his mother and sister. He covers his head and sleeps. Seeing his wife in her 40s is beaten by Mrs. Li, Li Anping's brother-in-law is very angry. His family works hard to provide for his brother, but they don't wait to serve him. Living in the countryside, although it doesn't cost much, the rice doesn't fall from the sky. The eldest son-in-law has long been dissatisfied with his brother-in-law who eats and drinks for nothing at home. He wears a pair of flip-flops and walks to the window of Li Anping's room. He knocks on the glass. You just watch our mom and your sister quarrel for you every day. How can you do that? Li Anping, we have raised you for 3 years. If you are a man, you should support yourself. We can't afford to raise a loser who eats for nothing. Mrs. Li screams. Anping just can't find a job. Who said my son is a loser? She lets go of Sister Li and pounces on the eldest son-in-law with the feather duster. The 3 of them are fighting. Chickens are crowing and dogs are barking. Finally, Li Anping can't pretend to be asleep anymore because of the noise in the yard and the ridicule of his brother-in-law. He gets out of bed in his slippers and pushes the door open. I'm going to work today. Can you stop quarreling? After 3 years of living like a beggar, Li Anping, who used to be handsome, loses the handsome feeling without good clothes. Besides, he doesn't have to work, so he is much fatter. His beard is unkempt and his eyes are black. Lin Luoran may not be able to recognize him. Hearing that her son is going to work, Mrs. Li smiles and throws away the feather duster. My son, you can stay at home for a while. I'm going to cook you a poached egg. Sister Li is also smiling. Even the eldest son-in-law, who doesn't like his brother-in-law, is excited to hear that he is going to work. At least he will be a graduate student. How can he worry about not finding a job? After a while, Mrs. Li smiles happily. She takes the poached egg and watches Li Anping shaving. The wrinkles on her face are like a blooming chrysanthemum. I've always said that you are a good boy, but you are too honest. You should have told your brother-in-law about this earlier. Anping, when did you secretly contact your employer? Li Anping looks at the mirror and says in a muffled voice, someone else contacted me. Mrs. Li's frown becomes smoother. Her son is a good boy, so she is respected in the village. Her family is also influential. Thinking of showing off, Mrs. Li asks Li Anping which big company he works for. When Li Anping says Fortune House, the poached egg in Mrs. Li's hand falls to the ground. Anping, my son, how can you go to that damn place? That bitch Ellie is so vicious. How can you forget that she hired someone to break your leg? Hearing that Ellie broke his leg, Lianping uses the shaving knife and a blood mark appears on his chin. He hates Ellie more than Lin Luoran because of the broken leg. How can he forget it? Now that he has the chance to go back, he will ask Ellie to pay for it in person. He swears that he will pay for it with interest. Chapter 216. Li's village has become a distant memory in Lin Luoran's mind. The path of cultivation is hard for her. She doesn't have time to think about Li Anping's family, which makes her feel uncomfortable. Rong's translation is going well. Today Luodong comes home early and comes to the bamboo house to do his homework. Lin Luoran agrees that Luodong likes to stay with Rong. After all, Rong is trustworthy both in terms of character and knowledge. Seeing that Luodong is interested in Rong's Shui script, an idea comes to Lin Luoran's mind. If Luodong decides to cultivate in a few years, it will be reasonable for him to learn these ancient scripts. Luodong has a few years to learn from Rong. If he can master the basic knowledge, he won't be wasting his time. Even if he doesn't plan to cultivate in the future, it is not a bad thing to learn these ancient scripts. Lin Luoran sneaks out of the study and decides to ask Rong about it. The cyan little fox has woken up. Lin Luoran detoxifies it again. Although it is still lying in its nest listlessly, Lin Luoran suddenly feels that the fox looks at her more affectionately after escaping from death. If she doesn't cultivate, Lin Luoran is an idle person. Recently, Mr. Lin likes to do morning exercises in the park. He is obsessed with practicing the 5 animal frolics with a group of old men who look much older than him. Seeing that Mrs. Lin is so bored, Mr. Lin asks her to practice with him. Mrs. Lin can't cultivate at this time, but there are fruits and vegetables in the space. She drinks spirit wine like water. Her body functions are rejuvenated. Her coordination and tenacity are very good. She reluctantly follows Mr. Lin to practice for a few days, and she is doing well. Everyone in the family has something to do. Lin Luoran goes to the basement. She has nothing to do. She remembers that she has not planted the seedlings of the fruit trees she found in the mountain in her space. After planting the wild pear, chestnut, and fig trees, Lin Luoran picks an apple. She sits on the swing tied to the branch of the apple tree and starts to eat the apple. When she first opened the space, there was only a small pond, a green tree, and 2 or 3 feet tall grass. The space was also very small. Now in her space there were peaches, apples, cherries, grapes, pears, figs, all kinds of vegetables, herbs, spirit herbs, volcanoes and small springs. The wind and rain were all natural. In the beginning, the space was only a small piece of land that could be used for planting. Now, it had become a multifunctional plantation with more than 1 acre of land. If he had to point out a regret, it would be that the restriction on the small wooden hut was still not opened. The fire phoenix ate half of the strange fire in the Kalahari desert last time. He doesn't know how it is now. The cabin looks quiet and there is no sound at all. Lin Luoran picks a basket of peaches, apples, and grapes. She also prunes the branches and leaves of several fruit trees. Then she leaves the space with the basket. Putting the fruit aside, Lin Luoran thinks about the magic circle she set last night. She wants to enchant the magic circle tonight, but now she is in a hurry. Whether the magic circle is successful or not, it still needs to be tested by the enchantment. After calming herself down, Lin decides to start the enchantment right now. As usual, she uses the jade spirit stones to surround her. In case she runs out of wacken during the enchantment, it is convenient for her to replenish. Sitting cross-legged, Lin Luoran's wacken comes out from her fingertips. First, she explores the nearest jade under the embroidery building. Lin Luoran's wacken is like a thread, and the jade is the eye of the needle. After passing through the thread goes to the jade under the corner of the wall. The jade is connected by an invisible dotted line. Under the quiet house of Lin's, no one but Lin Luoran sees this feast. The crisscross brilliance and the lit stars radiate their own light in the dark underground. The brilliance intertwines and rushes to the eye of the circle. As long as the jade is connected with the eye of the needle, Lin Luoran will know whether the enchantment is successful or not. In the basement, Lin Luoran's gestures are changing and her face is pale. She is trying to keep her gestures steady. She knows that the enchantment needs a huge amount of Wacken, but she doesn't expect it to be so serious. Maybe it is because the magic circle covers a large area and uses the spirit stones as the eye of the circle, which is beyond Lin Luoran's ability. Lin Luoran feels powerless after connecting so many jade. She is also a newborn calf who is not afraid of tigers. Every magic circle for protecting a mountain can only be set up with the power of a school. In the past, even if ordinary cultivators want to set up a magic circle, they will have the help of magic instruments such as magic circle flags to set up a small magic circle in front of the cave. Lin Luoran sets up a magic circle empty-handed, which is indeed too noisy for her personal ability. Lin Luoran is so stubborn that she refuses to admit defeat easily. It takes a long time for her Wacken to form a circle and transmit it to the eye of the circle. It seems that she has failed half tonight, but she still refuses to give up until the last moment. If she persists, she may not win, but if she gives up, she will probably fail. Lin Luoran is so stubborn that she directs the bead to absorb the Reiki in the jade and transmit it to her body continuously. The 3 nebulae in her pubic region seem to be infected by her urgency. Lin Luoran transforms Reiki twice faster than other cultivators of the same level. Now, with the high-speed rotation of the nebulae, Reiki is quickly transformed into Wacken. Lin Luoran grits her teeth and a strong light bursts out of her fingertips. The jade scattered around the chessboard like chess pieces feel her call and respond one after another. As the light flows, the Reiki inside the jade surges like a tide and rushes to the eye of the circle. It is like the National Day fireworks that Lin Luoran saw on TV one year. These sparkling lights in the underground are not as clear as they can be seen by her spiritual mind. They are so beautiful. They are running and playing. Under the guidance of Lin Luoran, they run to the core of the magic circle. With the last surge of Reiki from Lin Luoran, the leading Reiki finally touches the spirit gathering stone in the core of the magic circle. The net of stars is finally woven. Lin Luoran falls down in the pile of jade and her pubic region is empty. She is waiting anxiously. Time is so slow that she has to count it in seconds. When the 15th second arrives, she is a little discouraged. When the 18th second arrives, the light starts to fade slowly. Did she fail? Although she has expected this result, Lin Luoran still can't hide her disappointment. After all, she has worked so hard. Lin Luoran closes her eyes tiredly and is reluctant to withdraw her spiritual mind. About 10 seconds later, when Lin Luoran is about to withdraw her spiritual mind, she finds that the jade on the ground flashes like a light bulb with bad contact. Oh, is there something wrong with her eyes? Lin Luoran is full of doubts. She sees the jade light up one by one. A layer of velvet light that ordinary people can't see connects the jade, and finally converges to the eye of the circle. After waiting for a while, the light flashes and an invisible light cover appears over the Lin's house in a semicircle, covering the entire Lin's house. It works. Lin Luoran collapses on the ground and giggles for a long time while looking at the ceiling of the basement. This protection circle is so disgusting. It's like a computer that needs to be restarted for it to work. In the Lin's house, Mr. Lin's spiritual mind has just been activated, and he can feel the changes under the ground. He has no idea what his daughter is doing. When the circle is completed, he first feels the change of Reiki. Although the Reiki gathering stone has just taken effect, Mr. Lin has already keenly noticed it. Cyan Little Fox, whose nest is on the small Huan Island, is the closest to the Reiki gathering stone. It has felt very comfortable since the stone was buried last night. Goldie is also very sensitive to the changes in the Lin's house. Maybe it and Cyan Little Fox will be more reluctant to leave the small Huan Island in the future. In fact, Lin Luoran feels a little guilty for Goldie. Although she gives it 2 boluses from time to time, compared with the peaceful and abundant Reiki environment in the secret land, the Reiki in the secular world is so thin that it can be ignored. This has an impact on Goldie's progress of cultivation. Fortunately, now she sees the hope of improvement. Everything is developing in a good direction. How can she not be happy? Lin Luoran falls into a deep sleep. It is a very comfortable night without any dreams that a little red snake hides in the shadow of a trash can on the folk street. The weather in the early spring of our city is very good this year. The sun is warm. As the tourist card of the municipal government, the folk street with its alley as its selling point usually has a lot of tourists. In this kind of weather, there are even more tourists. The sun is very good and there are many girls in our city who like to be beautiful. Some girls who are not afraid of the cold have changed into thin coats, short skirts, black stockings, and a pair of knee-high leather boots. They look warm and pretty, which has become the standard dress for many girls on the street. A girl with a ponytail looks to be in her early 20s. She is wearing a pair of boots, and is strolling on the folk street holding her friend's hand. After eating the favorite skewers of our city locals, the girl with a ponytail feels it is indecent to walk on the street with a bamboo stick in her hand, so she is going to throw the bamboo stick into the trash can by the roadside. People overlap, so the trash can is set in a place where there is no light, so as not to bring indecency to the scenic area. As soon as she throws the bamboo stick, she feels that her calf is pricked by a needle. She looks down and sees 2 small holes in her leather shoes. A red shadow flashes by quickly. The girl with a ponytail doesn't see the red shadow, so she thinks she accidentally scratches her leather shoes. She feels so unlucky. She walks back to her friend and complains all the way. After a few steps, she feels unbearable pain in her calf. In her friend's panicked eyes, the girl with a ponytail falls down softly. "Juan, what's wrong with you? Don't scare me." After all, she is still young and hasn't experienced many things. Her friend is confused. The tourists around her don't dare to help her up. An old man with good eyesight points at her small feet and says, "Ouch, I'm afraid she was bitten by a snake. Call 120. Her friend looks at the direction he is pointing. Sure enough, a small stream of black blood is dripping from the 2 small holes in the leather shoes. Black blood, oh my God, I'm afraid it's a poisonous snake. There is a poisonous snake here. Step back. Little girl, call 120. The crowd has different opinions. Her friend finally dials the 120 emergency number. "Hey, someone was bitten by a snake." "Where?" "We are at the folk street. It's a poisonous snake." In the midst of the chaos, some knowledgeable old people are secretly curious. It is only the new year. Why would a poisonous snake appear in the crowded tourist folk street? I have finally completed the chapters 10. I silently ask for a red ticket for my bookmark. For the 3rd anniversary of Zongheng, there is a roulette lottery event. A Bao draws twice and wins 3,500 points. He is very satisfied and recommends everyone to try their luck. Chapter 217. Rong feels that the air in Lin's house is fresher these days. He can smell the faint fragrance when he breathes. His mind is clear, and he can even translate much faster. Mr. Lin's senses are more intuitive. He can feel the Reiki molecules around him in just a few days. The willow tree beside the lake has benefited from the wood Reiki. Its yellow leaves have grown to 3 inches long in a few days. Its branches hang down to the lake, which is really beautiful. Lin Luoran really wants to see the part that Rong has translated. However, she can't let go of the stone in her heart. She restrains her eagerness. There is one thing that she has to solve before she goes out to find the soul wood. Lin Luoran and her mother are going out for 2 days. Mrs. Lin, who has just mastered the 5 animals play, is good at it. She tells Lin Luoran to come back as soon as possible and doesn't nag her. After Lin Luoran goes out, Mr. Lin finds that his daughter is missing. He is about to ask her about it when he sees Mrs. Lin staring at the TV and clicking her tongue. Mr. Lin looks at the TV and sees that the plain-looking anchor of the Our City Channel 2 is reporting about the recent snake attacks in the city. It is said that more than 100 people were attacked. The hospital tried their best to save them. They are still in a coma and haven't been sent to the hospital. They are all. Oh, what a sin. Mrs. Lin sees a shadow captured by a camera. It seems to be a small snake. She points it out to Mr. Lin. They seldom go out at home, but Luodong has to go to school. The red snake attacks are so horrible that they don't know when the government can solve it. Mr. Lin thinks for a while and says, "It's scary. Since our daughter is not here, We'd better not go out these days. As for Luodong, we can still drive him to school every day. Lin Luoran's parents have heard about the magic circle of Lin's house. They believe in their daughter's ability. People are in a panic outside. It seems that it is safer to stay at home. As for Lin Luoran, she has booked the earliest flight and is ready to fly to Taiyuan. She has put some things aside, but she has not forgotten them. Since she has chosen to do it, Lin Luoran must be more cautious. Jin Wutai, In Putua, Tongame Taijuhua. These 12 characters were easy to remember, but they pointed out the 4 famous Buddhist mountains in Wuxia. Lin Luoran gets off the plane in Taiyuan. As soon as she gets out of the airport, she sees some young people driving luxury cars passing by. Some even whistle at her. This was a province with a lot of coal mines. She had only traveled for a short while, but she had already deeply felt the gap between the rich and the poor, which was more serious than the rumors. However, this was just a small matter for the purpose of her trip. She didn't take a taxi. Instead, she took out a cap and wore it. She chose to go to Wutai County with ordinary tourists. It couldn't be considered as deliberately keeping a low profile. She didn't ride on her sword, nor did she ride on her condor. She just hoped that this trip could cover up some traces, so that no one would be able to trace her. She arrives at Wutai County in the afternoon. She finds a small hotel where she doesn't need to check in and takes a shower. Then she hurries to Taihui town, which is 70 or 80 kilometers away. Ordinary people are not familiar with this small town, but it is the center of Wutai Mountain. Since the Eastern Han Dynasty, Buddhists have built the Fu Lingjio Temple here. It is a pilgrimage place for many Buddhists. The original De Fu Lingjio Temple has been renovated several times after the change of dynasties. Now it has been renamed Xiantong Temple. Lin Luoran is going to this tourist attraction. Wutai Mountain has a great difference in altitude, and the average temperature is only a few degrees all year round. Lin Luoran admires the tourists who go to Xiantong Temple with her. There are many gray-haired old people. Lin Luoran doesn't know whether they are here for sightseeing or devout believers. Of course, she doesn't believe in Buddhism. However, Master Mu said that there are Buddhist cultivators here. Lin Luoran used to think that Buddhist cultivators have to cultivate themselves in the deep mountains like cultivators. However, Master Mu says that Buddhist cultivators seek the power of faith and use the holy spells. They are different from cultivators. Buddhist cultivators are Buddhas in the secular world. Wutai Mountain is full of incense. There is no reason why Buddhist cultivators don't choose to stay here. Lin Luoran follows the tourists all the way to the temple. Unlike the Taoist temples in the mountains of central Sichuan, which were hidden in the green mountains and clear waters, Xiantong Temple stretched out there. The sky was blue, and the yellow soil was exposed. It was freezing cold, and a few old trees with few leaves were the only decorations under the sky. There are many pilgrims, and there are novice monks to receive them. However, it is almost night, so most of the tourists leave after a walk. Only Lin Luoran slowly walks to the famous Bronze Hall. The Bronze Hall is carved with flowers and green flowers, and the kuei protects the dragon. It is dazzling. It is said that Wanli built it for his mother. If what Master Mu said is true, it is probably a rumor. The bronze bell in front of her weighs thousands of pounds. When it is knocked, the sound can be heard all over the mountain. The sky is getting dark, and there is no one around the bell. Lin puts her hand on the bell and knocks it at a strange frequency. Creak. The thick bronze wall is moving aside. The sound is so light that ordinary people can't hear it without Lin Luoran's hearing. She hears 2 novice monks talking about their evening class. They are walking towards her. Lin Luoran rushes into the bronze hall and disappears behind the bronze wall. Puji Master, I am Lin Luoran, an individual cultivator. I want to see you. Lin Luoran is a little nervous if they don't want to see her. She has no choice but to open the door first and then ask to see them. Master Mu said that the place where Puji Master lives is behind the bronze wall. In fact, it is isolated from the Xiantong Temple by the holy spell. The world inside is where the real Buddhist cultivators live. Patroness, I am Jishio. A young novice monk appears in the twilight. He is dressed in plain clothes and shoes and has a delicate face. He is not surprised by Lin Luoran's arrival, and he looks peaceful. Jixio is a special Buddhist name. Master Jixio, my daughter wants to see Puji Master. Lin Luoran returns his salute, and Jixio accepts it calmly. His mouth is a little soft. Puji Master is having an evening class. Patroness, why don't you follow me to visit this place first? Although they are not on the same path, Jixio doesn't dare to underestimate the person who knows the secret place of Buddhist cultivators and knocks the bronze bell by himself. Lin Luoran nods and says yes. The gate of the bronze hall slowly closes. She has already walked into another world in the bronze hall. On the black brick road, she can see a few Bodhi trees occasionally. The architectural style here looks no different from that of the Xiantong Temple. However, Lin Luoran has to be picky. This is a place for self-cultivation that Master Mu said was built by the holy spell. The courtyards are overlapping. It is spacious for ordinary people, but a little simple for a school. Jixio leads her forward slowly. There is a faint fragrance on his body. There is a chanting sound in the night. It must be the evening class that Jixio said. The young novice monk must have been chanting before. Did she disturb him? In the night, the sound of chanting is a bit touching. Lin Luoran stands outside the hall, and can't help but be fascinated. Outside the hall, a jade hairpin flower blooms out of season. Lin Luoran suddenly realizes that the fragrance on Jixio's body is probably the mixture of jade hairpin and sandalwood. There is no magnificent Mahavira hall or brilliant golden roof here. If she doesn't feel an unknown power fluctuation on Jixio who leads her here, she will suspect that she has just entered a small mountain temple by mistake. Lin Luoran suddenly feels a little regretful. Is it really right to disturb such a place for her own selfishness? The sound of chanting fades. Novice monks wearing the same clothes as Jixio and monks of the same color come out one after another. They sincerely worship Buddha, and don't know that there is a guest. What's more, it's a beautiful female guest. Not every novice acolyte has Jixio's personal ability. Seeing Lin Luoran looking up at the flowers, two young novice acolytes blush and whisper, "Umitba," and walk by quickly. "Umitba, you are still young, but you have already entered the laying foundation period. You really have a promising future." An old monk in a gray robe says the name of Buddha. Lin Luoran straightens her clothes and solemnly bows. Chapter 218. Master, Buddhism cultivators have been living in seclusion for many years. Have you ever thought about coming back? Buddha is merciful. Now there is a great merit. It's up to you whether you want to continue living in seclusion or not. My daughter has come here out of selfishness, but because I can empathize with you, I can't help but feel pity. Lin Luoran is talking with Puji in the tea room. The old monk looks kind. Lin Luoran doesn't believe that Puji is not interested in what she says. In the past, Buddhism was prosperous and there were many temples in the country. That was the world of Buddhism cultivators. Lin Luoran is a rookie. The competition between Buddhism and Taoism means nothing to her. Taoism focuses on perception and Reiki, while Buddhism focuses on faith and the power of will. The two are fundamentally different. Why do they have to suppress each other? Now the world of cultivation is declining and Reiki is decreasing. Lin Luoran doesn't know why Buddhism cultivators are still willing to live in seclusion. If they want the power of will, they can't do anything. How can they get faith? After drinking tea and analyzing the power, Jixio walks Lin Luoran out. The bronze wall is still closed. To be honest, Lin Luoran doesn't know whether she has succeeded or not. Under the Bodhi tree, Puji comes out from nowhere. He is very respectful to the little monk Jixio. Jixio's robe is blown by the night wind. The little monk catches a Bodhi leaf and suddenly smiles. Puji, what she said is reasonable. Let's do as she says. Puji hesitates. After a while he nods and says yes. If Lin Luoran were here, she would definitely be shocked. Puji is an eminent monk of the same generation as Master Mu. It is very strange that he is so respectful to Jixio who is still a little monk. However, Lin Luoran can't be here. She is now flying between mountains in the twilight. As soon as she is out of Chuan province, there are not many people in Wuxia who can detect her personal ability. She doesn't need to worry about it like she did in Mount Wutai. Next, Lin Luoran will go to Putuo in Jiuhua. Putuo is also one of the 4 holy places of Buddhism. As for Amei, which is closest to our city, Lin Luoran has already given up. Amei is closer to Qingcheng. Lin Luoran is still worried about Taoist Huizhu of Qingqing Taoist Temple. This is the information I have compiled. Please give it to school Sister Lin. Rong Donglin hands a stack of papers to Mrs. Lin. He looks tired. Mr. and Mrs. Lin both think that Rong Donglin is a nice young man. Rong Donglin is diligent in his work and gets along well with Luo Dong. Seeing that Rong Donglin's eyes are red, Mrs. Lin knows that Rong Donglin hasn't had a rest these days. Since Luoran is not here, Mrs. Lin doesn't want to keep Rong Donglin, so she takes the files and sends him out. As soon as they leave Lin's house, Rong's old Nokia rings. It's Yen Feng. He wants to visit Kai Liang's girlfriend. Lao San's girlfriend was bitten by a snake a few days ago. She has been in the hospital for a few days and hasn't woken up yet. Rong has been there once. Kai Liang looks so pitiful with his unkempt beard. Rong doesn't have the heart to see him like this. Although he is also sleepy, there is no reason for him to refuse Yen Feng's request. When he is still thinking about which bus to take, Luo Dong sticks his head out of the door. Brother Donglin, where are you going? Can I go too? Rong pats him on the shoulder. Have you finished your homework? Luo Dong nods. Rong has always been accommodating to him. Luo Dong is sure that Brother Donglin will take him out to play. The two of them turn out of the alley and walk to the bus stop. A red snake hiding in the folk custom street is eager to have a try. The door of the bus is closed. It jumps up and sits on the roof of the bus. The sun at noon makes it uncomfortable. The little red snake sticks out its tongue and curls into a ball. Goldie is very powerful. It will be discovered if it gets too close to Lin's house. The little red snake has been hiding in the streets for a long time. It feels that its chance is finally here. The bus is moving slowly. Luo Dong and Rong are talking and laughing. Mr. Lin drives back and wonders, where is Luo Dong? He keeps saying that he wants to go out to play. I'll take him to the square later. Mrs. Lin goes to call Luo Dong. She finds that Luo Dong is not in his room. Mrs. Lin is a little worried. Did he go out with Rong Donglin? It's been a mess out there these days. What should we do? Luo Dong and Luo Dong don't know about the danger. I have to go out and find him. Mr. Lin is also worried. He comforts Mrs. Lin. Don't be so unlucky. Our city is so big. Why did they run into that snake? Rong is a good boy. He will send Luo Dong back. Mrs. Lin feels that Mr. Lin is right. She stops worrying for the time being. However, in the next 2 hours, Mrs. Lin feels that her eyelids are twitching. She has a feeling that something bad is going to happen. Luo Dong doesn't know that his parents are worried about him. He is a smart boy. Although he is going to visit Rong's classmate, he still buys some fruits and tonics and goes to visit Sister Ruan, who is still in a coma. Sister Ruan is bitten by a snake. There are many patients like this in the hospital. Luo Dong is scared when he sees Sister Ruan lying on the bed with black spots on her face. People are crying in the corridor of the hospital. Sister Ruan's parents also cry. Luo Dong feels sorry for them. Where did the snake come from? If Sister Ruan is here, she will be able to deal with it. Luo Dong wants to call Lin Luoran and ask her to help Sister Ruan. He has to catch the snake no matter what. However, he is worried that Lin Luoran is doing something important. He doesn't want Sister Ruan's family and Donglin to wait for him. Luo Dong doesn't want to ask. Rong and Yen Feng can only say some comforting words. They don't know if Kai Liangzi can hear them because he is in a trance. Rong and Yen are depressed when they walk out of the hospital with Luo Dong. Hey, if anything happens to Ruan, Liangzi will be sad. It is said that the hospital can't do anything about the snake's venom. Yen Feng is not optimistic about Luo Dong's condition. This topic is too heavy. Rong can only sigh. Yen Feng smiles. Luo Dong, let's go. I will take you to flirt with a girl. Being close to a younger brother is the same as being close to an older sister. Yen Feng is good at scheming and he is very enthusiastic about Luo Dong. Rong doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. Yen Feng calls a taxi and puts the two nerds in the car. He sits in the front seat. The red shadow jumps up and sits on the roof of the taxi. The sun is not so hot. The red snake is more energetic. It stretches its body on the roof of the taxi and spits out its tongue. The people in the car don't know what is going on. The passers-by and the driver are shocked. Yin Feng was still talking about a certain sushi restaurant on Chuanxi Road when the exclamations and pointers of the passers-by finally made the people in the car feel that something was wrong. The driver thinks that there is something wrong with the car. He discusses with Yin Feng and the others whether they should stop by the square in case of any accidents. When they are dozens of meters away from the square, a red tail reaches out from the roof of the car. Luodong is shocked. Donglin, look. It is a snake. As soon as they come out of the hospital, Yin Feng remembers the snake that threatened our city recently. Sir, don't stop the car. Drive faster and throw the snake off. Yin Feng and Rong are anxious because of Luodong in the car. However, the driver is not as courageous as them. He is scared when he sees the red tail. He doesn't care about the traffic laws. He pulls the car into the square and slams on the brakes. Yin Feng and the others are still in a daze. The driver pushes the door open and tries to escape. As soon as he moves his head out, the red snake bites him in the face. The driver covers his face and falls down. Yin Feng gasps, "Let's go." Rong Donglin opens the door and helps Luodong to get off the car. Yin Feng follows closely behind. The little red snake looks at the three of them with its cold eyes. It doesn't do anything to the taxi driver. The people in the square had long been stunned by the sudden appearance of the taxi. When they saw the little red snake on the ground, they all screamed and scattered. More and more people in our city have been bitten by snakes these days. People are scared when they talk about snakes. Seeing the red snake bite the driver and make him fall down, they are all scared. Protected by Yin Feng and Rong, Luodong runs in the crowd. The young boy feels the wind blowing in his ears and his heart is beating fast. The red snake bites the driver who gets off the car first. The three of them have just escaped from the gates of hell. Luodong is only 12 years old. Even though he has seen a lot of incredible things, he is still scared at this critical moment. Damn it! Why does the snake target us? Yin Feng looks back. The red snake has caught up with them. Coincidentally, it is in their direction. Donglin, let's split up and lead it away. Yin Feng is not a bold man. He is just an ordinary college student with a glib tongue. However, at this moment, they have to consider the safety of the child. Rong nods in agreement. As soon as the three of them split up, they find that the red snake is chasing Luodong. Rong has no choice but to turn back. Yin Feng spits on the ground and pulls Luodong away. The snake's target is Luodong. The two of them hold Luodong's hand and run away. People who are running for their lives consciously draw a line between them and the snake. Gradually, only the three of them are left in the square. Behind them is a high wall. There is no way for them to escape. What the hell? Brat, did you raid its nest? Why is it so apologetic towards us? Yin Feng looks around. His eyes light up when he sees the small tree in the garden. Soon he pulls down the wooden stick that is protecting the tree. Lin Luodong's face is pale. He doesn't know why the snake keeps chasing him. He also takes a stick like Yin Feng. Rong Donglin looks at the red snake vigilantly. The three of them each hold a stick. They feel more confident. The red snake sticks out its tongue in front of them. The three of them lean against the wall and feel much safer. Yin Feng comforts Luodong. Don't be afraid. It's just a small snake. We can deal with it if we work together. Small. The red snake seemed to understand Yin Feng's words. With a series of crackling sounds of bones dislocating and expanding, the little red snake expanded against the wind. At a speed visible to the naked eye, it turned into a giant snake that was several feet long and as thick as a water bucket. The snake lowers its triangular head and stares at the three of them. Its stinky saliva drips on the cement, making smoke rise. Some brave people who have run to the square look back and see the huge red snake. They swallow their saliva. Is this a science fiction movie? Seeing that the snake doesn't attack the three of them, some brave people watch from the other side of the street. The TV reporter is the boldest. He arrives even faster than the police car. Once the red snake's body grew larger, It could no longer suppress its aura and cultivation. Feeling its monstrous anger, Xiao Jin, who had been napping on the island, suddenly opened its eyes. The golden eagle senses the direction and flies to the sky, shaking off a lot of bamboo leaves. Mrs. Lin sees Goldie's action from the window. She wants to ask what's wrong with the eagle today. However, the TV series on RTV2 suddenly stops. The picture changes. The host says in an excited and scared voice, "Ladies and gentlemen, you are now watching RTV2. We are going to show." The camera changes to the square. Mrs. Lin is startled by the snake. She pats her chest to calm herself down. Suddenly, she notices that the figures in the slit of the snake are very familiar. Oh no! It's Luodong and Rong. Bang! Mrs. Lin breaks the fruit plate on the table in a panic. "Dad, hurry up. Watch the TV." Mr. Lin stares at the TV for a while. Then he turns around and runs outside. Mrs. Lin can't catch him. She is anxious and angry. After a while, she remembers to call Luoran. Luoran's phone is turned off. Mrs. Lin collapses on the ground. Chapter 219. In the square, although it is only the beginning of March, Luodong still feels thirsty. It has only been a few minutes, but he feels like he has been confronting the giant snake for years. His hands holding the wooden stick can't help shaking. Rong and Yanfeng are older than Luodong, but they are also ordinary college students. They have accepted the scientific worldview and are atheists. It is the first time for them to see such a giant snake. They are scared and confused. Are they facing a biochemical monster in an American movie or a monster in the Wuxia legend? Compared to the excitement of the outdoor host, only the three of them knew the helplessness and fear of not being able to retreat. The giant snake seems to be teasing them. It flicks its tail and wriggles its body from time to time, but it doesn't hurt them. TV2 in the R City has a wide coverage in the local area. What's more, this is not a groundless story. It is a real picture from the scene. Not only in the downtown area, but also in the surrounding counties and cities. Zheng Tian is in a meeting. Hearing the sudden exclamation outside his office, he asks his secretary to go out and see what is going on. After whispering in his secretary's ear, he can't help but come out to see what is going on. He has never seen a monster in such a long time of cultivation, so he is very curious. Zheng Tian frowns when he sees Rong's face in the HD camera. If he only sees Rong, he is still thinking about whether he should get involved or not. However, when he sees Luodong, Zheng unconsciously clenches his hands. This is a big gamble. If he wins, he will not only solve the problem between him and Lin Luodong, but also have a close relationship with the Lin family. However, if he loses, he will die. After thinking for a few seconds, Zheng Tian runs out and knocks down the documents on the desk. Cultivation is not easy. In fact, nothing is easy in the world. Of course, as an employee of a state-owned enterprise, his father is also taking a gamble when he decides to go to the sea. Zheng Tian is so proud that he chooses to take this gamble. He is also in the innate realm, which is different from Mr. Lin and Baojia. Zheng's family spent a lot of money and resources on him to reach the innate realm. His aptitude was not very good, and he could not meet the standards of the few cultivation sects to accept disciples. Therefore, his external skills were also very good. At this time, he did not choose to drive. Instead, he ran in the traffic that had begun to paralyze in this district of Chengdu. Today is the weekend. Luodong and Rong can go out to play, but Huang has to pick up garbage with a bag. He had almost paid the rent, but he was still struggling to make ends meet. Huang Weijian had no weekends to rest. Also, because it is the weekend, Huang Weijian has a good harvest today. He has brought home several bags of garbage. At this time, he is carrying the bags to the square. There are many tourists here on the weekend, so he should have a better harvest. A group of people is gathering in front of a clothing store. Hearing the exclamations, Huang can't help but glance at the TV. Huang feels that someone has punched him. The face is that of Luodong, the boy who always comes to his class to please him and annoys him. What a nuisance. Huang Weijian walked on expressionlessly. After 2 steps, he couldn't help touching his canvas bag. Since they were classmates, he couldn't just leave them in the lurch. He finds an excuse to convince himself, but he ignores the fact that Luodong is not an ordinary classmate to him. No matter how indifferent he is, Huang is just a 12-year-old boy. Luodong stood up to help him and was beaten by Ma Ming, which affects him more than he thinks. Huang Weijian carries the snakeskin bag and runs to the square. The office building of Fortune House is not far from the square. Even Goldie can feel the provocation of the giant snake, so Xi and Yuanping can feel it more clearly. If the monster is refined in the blood pool, it will be a great tonic even for Xi and Yuanping. She will not give it up easily. Fortune House is close to the square, and Xi and Yuanping has the highest level of cultivation among them, so she is the first one to arrive at the square. She wants to subdue the monster quietly. However, when she sees that it is the Lin family who are surrounded and many people are rushing in this direction, Xi and Yuanping smiles. She finds it interesting, and is ready to watch a free drama. She doesn't show up immediately, but stands on a big tree. Goldie arrives in an instant, only a few seconds later than Xi and Yuanping. It can sense Xi and Yuanping's presence. It feels uncomfortable about this human being. However, looking at Luodong on the ground, it hovers in the air for a while, and then lands. When the wings of the golden hawk are fully opened, they are 7 or 8 meters long, casting a huge shadow on the ground. Luodong, who has been feeling thirsty, feels the darkness above his head. Then he looks up and sees Goldie hovering in the air. He suddenly feels relieved. Isn't this the bird of prey raised by the Lin family? Rong clenches the stick in his hand. He is not sure if the golden hawk can help them get out of trouble. Yanfeng swallows after a short moment of astonishment. The mysterious hawk of the state of Wuxia? Oh my god, is the hawk here to save us? The passers-by standing far away are more certain than Yanfeng, including the anchor of the RTV2. He was excited when he saw the snake, but now he wants to go home and worship his ancestors. The mysterious hawk of the state of Wuxia. Dear viewers, this is the mysterious hawk of the state of Wuxia that disappeared in the Zhongshan Mausoleum some time ago. Is it here to save us? Oh my god, the snake is attacking the hawk. When the giant snake saw Goldie, its eyes turned red. Goldie didn't land on the ground immediately. Instead, the giant snake curled up into a ball and leaped into the air with its tail. It bit at Goldie's wing. At the same time, the snake swings its tail and breaks a lamppost. The lamppost falls on the 3 people by the wall. The police car finally arrives late. The scene is in chaos. Goldie screams and flaps its wings. The 3 people roll away like gourds on the ground. The 3 people are more or less injured, but they are out of the fighting range of the hawk and the snake. Bang bang bang. The continuous bullets hit the snake. There are several bloody holes on its body, which makes the snake even angrier. It turns around and runs to the police car. Luodong and the other 2 people are also running in this direction. Damn it, we are so close to getting out of the square. Goldie grabbed the tail of the giant snake. Its long body rushed to the side of the police car and bit off the head of a policeman. The headless body walks a few steps and falls beside Yanfeng. Seeing the blood coming out of the neck, the glib college student feels weak in the knees. The headless body walks a few steps and falls beside Yanfeng. Seeing the blood coming out of the neck, the glib college student feels weak in the knees. The crowd scatters. The tail of the snake is caught. It tries to turn around and bite Goldie. However, Goldie sweeps its hard wings and the snake's neck is bleeding. Let's go. Rong stumbles to help Yanfeng. The giant snake is about to attack the 3 of them again after being defeated by Goldie. Goldie is about to fly up by grabbing the tail of the giant snake. Xi and Yuanping smiles on the tree. A black lotus appears in her hand and a mist is released silently. Goldie feels powerless. He flaps his wings but can't fly. The hawk's claws sink into the flesh of the snake, but the snake is not affected by the mist. It feels that its tail is loosened, and it runs to the 3 people with Goldie. How dare you? The vines of iron thorns are strong. Mr. Lin jumps over the roofs of many cars and entangles the head of the snake with the support of the statue of the great man on the square. Dad! Luodong yells. Rong holds Yanfeng with his eyes wide open. What's wrong with the world? It's okay that the bird raised by the Lin family is so powerful, but why is Mr. Lin, who is always smiling, also a master of martial arts? He never thought that the word cultivator would appear in the world. He never thought that after today, the unknown cultivators in the state of Wuxia would appear in front of the world again like in the ancient times. Among countless coincidences, some secrets can no longer be concealed. Chapter 220. Zheng Tian follows Huang Weijian. Unlike Mr. Lin who can control iron thorns, Zheng Tian's weapon is a soft sword made by the one family of Zhu Mountain. He can draw it out from his belt when needed. Even masters of martial arts can use it easily, let alone Zheng Tian, a cultivator in the congenital realm. Zheng still knows to keep a low profile. He pulls a piece of his shirt to cover his face. When he rushes out he says, "Go!" He pushes Luodong, Yanfeng and Rong away. Only Rong recognizes that Zheng Tian's voice and figure are similar to the young master of Zheng's family in the bar. Rong Donglin follows Zheng's order and runs out of the square with Luodong and Yanfeng. They know that Luodong is the target of the giant snake. They have seen the policeman's head being bitten off, so they don't dare to get other people into trouble. They just run to the open space. Zheng Tian has already jumped to the side of the snake with the tip of his sword. Mr. Lin can't help Goldie all of a sudden. The iron thorns are extremely tough, but Mr. Lin obviously lacks actual combat experience. He didn't take advantage of the situation to attack when he was in the most advantageous position. Now he can only barely hold the giant snake and can't deal with it. Zheng Tian's sword moves like a rainbow. He moves in the air and stabs the snake's right eye with the soft sword in his hand. The flexible tip of the sword is like a snake. However, Zheng Tian is dealing with a real snake. Can he succeed? It only takes a few seconds, but it gathers the expectations of countless people. The captain of the police force asks for more police. When some people join the fight, he has already ordered to stop shooting. He doesn't want to hurt the innocent people. At this moment, everyone, including the noisy presenter, is holding his breath in the corner. The naked eye can only capture the movement for a moment. The camera with the red light on faithfully records the sword move that is remembered by countless boys and girls in Wuxia. In fact, at this moment Zheng Tian, who is quite ridiculous with his face covered, puts his future on the line. Zheng Tian not only recognizes Lin Luodong and Rong Donglin, but more importantly, the one who is trying to stop the snake monster is the father of Master Lin. Zheng Tian feels that he has been injected with something called chicken blood. Zheng Tian is amazed by this sword strike. It is beyond his usual level. The giant snake keeps twisting. Zheng Tian's wrist is steady and powerful. Wherever the tip of the sword goes, the air seems to be broken. Poochie! With the dull sound of a sharp weapon cutting through flesh, the soft sword made of refined iron pierced the snake monster's weakest point, its right eye, under everyone's expectations. When the snake blood splattered everywhere, whether it was the people involved in the square, the police, or the audience watching the live broadcast in front of the TV, they all cheered in unison. That was great. Zheng Tian also feels great. Inside the snake's eyes is the brain. No matter how powerful the strange snake is, as long as he twirls his sword and smashes its brain, will it still be alive? Zheng Tian's wrist shakes, and the smile on his face freezes the next second. Damn it, his flexible sword was stuck in the snake bone. The giant snake turns its head and spits out a stream of yellow gas at Zheng Tian. Zheng Tian knows how powerful the snake is, so he has to let go of the handle of the soft sword immediately. He does a backflip and falls on the ground. The snake blood spills all over the ground. Xian Yuanping feels that this scene is so boring. She is clearly standing at the top of the tree, and the camera only shows the big tree. Xian Yuanping is not there. Zheng Tian bites his lips, but he can't stop the black blood from flowing out of the corner of his mouth. He has retreated quickly, but he is still poisoned. Everyone tells him to run, but his father is still fighting with the snake. How can Luodong run away? Behind the police car, Luodong doesn't move at all. Let alone Rong. Even Yanfeng won't leave a kid like him behind. The three of them are watching the situation in the square. They are happy when they see Zheng Tian's amazing sword. However, when they see Zheng Tian's flexible sword is still stuck in the snake's eye, they are all worried. Huang Weijian touches the mud on his face and rushes out from behind the police car. He stares at Luodong and says seriously, "Why don't you run?" Luodong takes a while to recognize that it is his classmate. Although he doesn't know why Huang Weijian is here, he still pushes him. "It's too dangerous here. Huang Weijian, get out of here." The silent boy doesn't seem to hear Luodong's urging. He asks impatiently, "Luodong, why don't you run?" Rong and Yanfeng can't help but look at the boy who is obsessed with the same question. Luodong suddenly realizes that it is Huang Weijian who is talking to him. Huang Weijian, who didn't respond no matter how he tried to approach him in class. "My father is still there. I can't leave." Luodong points to his father, who is supporting himself with a single tree. His eyes are full of stubbornness. Huang Weijian's eyes are hidden under his bangs. He just whispers, so troublesome. Xian Yuanping is high up. She can see the fear, joy, and disappointment of these people. She thinks of her right hand, which was broken by Lin Luoran, and it is still uncomfortable for a novice. She raises her right hand, and when it falls, a black gas invisible to the naked eye cuts the iron thorns like a sharp blade. Mr. Lin feels that his hand is loosened. He feels bad and throws out a handful of seeds. However, it is obviously too late. The snake doesn't rush to Luodong immediately. Instead, it turns around and tries to bite Mr. Lin, the annoying human who has been pestering it. The situation is extremely critical. Besides Goldie, who is already weak, there is also the silent boy who is yelling for trouble. Goldie feels that some kind of power deep in its blood is clamoring, hitting its meridians over and over again. Its wings are shining, and its claws seem to be full of strength. Goldie firmly grabs the snake's tail again and drags it back. Amidst the policeman's cries of "Little friend, it's dangerous over there," the shabbily dressed teenager leaped out of the crowd and ran towards the snake monster. As the teenager ran, he rummaged through his canvas bag and pulled out a large, bald pen. It looked as ridiculous as he was. The wind blows up the boy's bangs. His eyes, which have been covered, are dark and deep. Mr. Lin glances at them and feels that the boy looks like someone. Who does he look like? Huang Weijian doesn't care about other people's thoughts. He just takes out a bare pen and writes in the air. While people are still guessing what kind of talisman he is writing, the boy reads slowly in his childish voice. "Goose, goose, goose singing to the sky." At the beginning, people still feel that the boy is pretending to be weak. However, when Huang reads the poem, the mysterious feeling is completely destroyed. Luodong doesn't know what is wrong with his classmate. The courageous outdoor host has prepared a wonderful speech, but he only utters a few words. He doesn't know what to say. Yanfeng is so scared that his legs are weak. He swallows and murmurs, "The new generation really excels the old. Am I going to die on the beach?" How old is he? He is so pretentious. Huang is not pretentious. Only Xian Yuanping, who is standing on the tree, can see the power of his pen. "Kids nowadays are so interesting. Why don't you come and play with me?" As soon as Huang Weijian says the word wave, of red palm pushing clear waves, an attack is formed at the end of the pen. Although he has never fought with it, he is confident in himself. He believes that he can stop the snake monster even if he can't kill it with one blow. Chapter 221. While Mrs. Lin is calling Lin Luoran, she is looking down from the plane. The plane slows down and is ready to land. It has only been 10 minutes since the appearance of the snake monster on the square. Lin Luoran starts the plane as soon as she gets off. Her secretary reminds her that there are many missed calls. They are all from her mother. Lin Luoran is worried. Is something wrong at home? Just as she was about to call back, the passengers who got off the plane together gathered in twos and threes, pointing at the huge electronic signboard in the airport. "Honey, is this Tianfu Square in the our city? Is the movie shot here?" "Shot here? It doesn't look like it. That's the anchor of RTV2. Is it a live broadcast instead of a movie?" "Nonsense." Lin Luoran looks at the screen and her phone almost falls to the ground. On the square, Zheng Tian's sword is amazing, but it fails. Goldie's claws are hanging down. It is obviously not normal. What makes Lin Luoran's pupils shrink is that the person who entangles the snake's head with iron thorns is her father. At the same time, Lin Luodong, Rong Donglin, and Yanfeng's faces flash through the camera. The red snake is still alive and has come back for revenge. Damn it! Lin Luoran stomps her feet. Compared with the safety of her family, Lin Luoran doesn't care about the former. She doesn't even think of setting up a mini-world. She summons the bright sword and casts the sword-riding spell. Even though she is standing behind the crowd, the bursting sword light still attracts all the attention of the passengers and the airport ground crew. The shape of the aqua-blue flying sword was smooth. It seemed to be a female passenger who had been on the plane with them before. Unexpectedly, she flew into the blue sky on a flying sword in public. In just a few breaths of time, the woman on the sword had already disappeared into the depths of the white clouds. Those who had personally witnessed this scene looked at each other in astonishment and whispered to each other, their voices gradually becoming louder. They need an explanation. What is wrong with the world? The tip of Huang Weijian's brush is spiritual. It moves like a dragon and sets up an inescapable net around the snake monster. Although ordinary people could not see the spiritual lock, they could see the snake monster lowering its head and twisting its body in a small area, as if it was trapped. Mr. Lin is overjoyed at first. The iron thorn seeds he scatters quickly turn into vines that can't be cut off by any sword and add another shackle to the twisting giant snake. In this way, the snake seems to be firmly trapped by them. Mr. Lin is a little tired, but Goldie flaps its wings and comes to him. The golden light on its body shrinks. It seems that something is wrong. The on-location host was beaming with joy as he introduced the actions of these masters. The police captain waved his hand and ordered, aim at the target and shoot. Bullets have no eyes. Although they are standing on the side, they are not far enough. Mr. Lin is about to pull Huang Weijian away, but he finds that this young boy who can trap the snake monster is staring in a certain direction like a statue. Mr. Lin follows his gaze and sees a big banyan tree. There is nothing strange about it. Hearing the sound of shooting, Mr. Lin has to pull the boy away. Huang Weijian holds the pen tightly in his right hand. His eyes covered by his bangs are alert. Come out. I know you are there. He shouts at the banyan tree and points at it with the pen. What's wrong with the boy? Is a banyan tree worthy of him being so vigilant? Luodong doesn't know what's wrong with his classmate. The on-location host has a keen sense of news. He directs his companions to point the camera in the direction of the banyan tree. Huang Weijian is extremely nervous like an angry cat. Suddenly, there is a burst of laughter from the empty banyan tree. The voice is not loud, but it spreads to every corner of Tianfu Square. Kid, didn't your teacher teach you that it is impolite to stare at your sister like this? After the laughter stops, Xian Yuanping in black suddenly appears on the treetop. Now she has the same facial features as the special assistant of Fortune House, but she has a completely different temperament. Anyway, all the staff of Fortune House who are watching the show in front of the TV can't recognize Xian Yuanping except for Ellie. Dad. The Lin family will never forget this woman. She is the reason why Lin Luoran disappeared that year. Mr. Lin takes 2 steps forward and holds Luodong in his arms. Uncle, this is... Rong is confused to see the vigilance of the father and son. Mr. Lin didn't look so serious when they were fighting the giant snake. Mr. Lin's voice is calm. She is the enemy of our family. Mr. Lin doesn't hate the woman in black, because Zhou Yaowei injured him when Lin Luoran was not there. It's just that he can't forget what happened when his daughter was kidnapped by the woman, and she suffered a lot in the past 3 years to escape from her captivity. Yes, she is bad. Luodong nods hard. Even though he is young, he will never forget the 3 years when he was at home. Great enemy? Yan Feng was speechless. The Lin family was so powerful. Yet there was still someone who could make them feel as if they were facing a great enemy. Wouldn't this black-clothed woman be even more? Yan Feng shuddered. He had previously been amazed by such a domineering woman, but now he was scared half to death. However, the mysterious bird of the state of Wuxia belongs to the family of the campus bell. Yan Feng is even more glad that he didn't have any ideas about the school bell. Goldie is standing beside him coldly. Yan Feng is just an ordinary person, so he is curious and scared. Zheng Tian has been standing here for a long time. The snake venom is running wild in his body. He is afraid that if he speaks, the poisonous blood will come out. Therefore, he doesn't take off the ridiculous shirt strip and just looks at the scene calmly. They are talking in low voices. The captain of the police team instructs his men to shoot holes all over the body of the giant snake. The snake monster is dying and the snake blood is all over the ground. They all turn their attention to the woman in black who suddenly appears. The young man who trapped the snake is so nervous. This woman may not be a good person. Xin Yuanping, who is being pointed at by dozens of guns, naturally doesn't care about these ordinary policemen. She still stares at Huang Weijian and says with a smile, "Boy, why don't you follow your sister?" Huang Weijian smiles and interrupts Xion's words, "Sister? Auntie, I am an orphan. Don't pretend to be my sister." The teenager's childish voice is very serious, as if he is kind enough to correct Xian Yuanping's wrong way of addressing him. However, it makes all the nervous people at the scene happy. The woman in black's face immediately changes. What a child says. There is probably no young and beautiful woman in the world who is willing to be called auntie, even if she is old enough to be someone's grandmother. Xian Yuanping's face is very gloomy. She stares at Huang Weijian with a hint of killing intent. The captain of the police team is also afraid of the woman in black who is standing on the tree crown. Seeing Xian Yuanping's expression changes, he can't help but worry for the young man in the square. Xian Yuanping seems to think of something. Her skirt moves without wind, and she walks down from the tree crown. She doesn't jump down or jump down. It seems that there is an invisible staircase winding under her feet. She is really walking down step by step. If this kind of appearance is not shocking enough, the black lotus under her feet flashes every time she takes a step. The fragrance is so tempting. In the eyes of ordinary people, it is really a miracle. The announcer stuttered, "Step by step blooming lotuses?" Audience, today there is not only a snake, but also a swordsman, a druid who can control plants, a little poet, and a mysterious woman with lotus step by step. The host is so excited that he doesn't even have time to wipe the sweat on his forehead. He has a hunch that after today, his career will usher in a new peak. Looking at the colleagues who have arrived one after another, who are also in a remote place, hurriedly setting up the camera to find the angle, the host becomes more and more excited. These colleagues are all behind him, and RTV2 is the first one. While the host is still excited, he suddenly hears the sound of glass breaking. No, it is more than one. It is a series of broken glasses. Did the police open fire on the woman? He looked around and almost fainted. There is a lotus under Xian Yuanping's feet, gorgeous and dazzling. She just takes back her finger. Like a mosquito, so annoying. She makes a conclusion with one sentence, as if it is a matter of course that all the cameras on the scene are broken. The host points at her for a long time, but still dares not to come forward to ask for an explanation. As for the reporters and hosts who have just arrived, they are completely petrified. A kind of sadness surges in their hearts like the wind. Xian Yuanping comes to Huang Weijian in a few steps. The boy doesn't dodge, looking very brave. In fact, in such a confrontation his back is already wet. This woman in black is very powerful. Huang Weijian feels something is interfering with his mouth. He steadies his hand, and the broken brush starts to move again. Every stroke of his was abnormally serious. His speed was very fast, and his strokes were very solemn. The water of the Yellow River comes from the sky. He is also reciting a poem, but this time it is not a simple goose, but Li Bai's well-known Bring in the Wine. The boy's dry voice rings. Xian Yuanping wants to move forward again, but she seems to be blocked by something. It's really interesting. But do you think you can stop me like this? Xian Yuanping stops. When she raises her right foot again, Huang Weijian's face turns pale, but his hand doesn't stop. He continues to recite, "Rush to the sea. Never come back." The lines under the brush turn from defense to defense, rushing to Xian Yuanping. "You overestimate yourself." Xian Yuanping sneers. Her previous kindness is gone. She steps forward again and steps down. A black lotus flashes, and the lines at the tip of the brush which can trap the snake monster are crushed. Huang Weijian spits out a mouthful of blood and takes a few steps back. He can't even stand straight. Xian Yuanping approaches him in the blink of an eye and pinches the boy's neck. Kid, you are good at talking. Let's see how you can be arrogant now. Haha. Seeing that Huang Weijian is caught, Lin Luodong clenches his fist. Rong Donglin and Yan Feng hurry to catch him. In the whole scene, excluding the police, Mr. Lin is the only one who can still fight. When he is about to move, he hears a female voice falling from the clouds. It is a little indifferent, a little lazy, but extremely familiar. I haven't seen you for a long time. You really only know how to bully the weak. Mr. Lin is relieved and Luodong smiles. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.